Making my way downtown, walking fast, faces passing, I'm homebound.
Oh, shut up.
Welcome to today's episode of the 3 and 1 podcast. I am your moderator, Norwood graduate, Cincinnati 37U Hall of Famer Mike Bell, aka Mike Breezy, if you need me. I have my first host, one of Dayton's very own, Ponus graduate, owner of the Zaza Buds clothing brand, former teammate and current brother, Rashawn Cook. What's going on with you, baby?
Not much, man. How you doing, baby shark?
I'm
Bro,
doing good, man.
you're holding
Doing
that
good.
thing like a baby blanket, Cookie.
Hey, bro. You got some stuff on your shirt.
Hey, it's
Already.
good stuff right here.
Starting
It's good
already.
stuff.
You got some stuff on your shirt.
This is
You
the
know what it
best
looks
stuff.
like?
My God.
You
Here
got
he go
titties.
with the shirt.
Titties. You got titties. Show it through your shirt.
And introducing my other host, another Cincinnati son, Mason graduate,
A
one-time 37U national champion, Oliver Pryor. What's good with you?
Buckeyes are still national champs.
Go
The
Blue.
NBA is crazy. And life is good.
Nice. All right, we're going to go ahead and get this thing rolling, starting off with a Super Bowl recap. Eagles 40, Chiefs 22. At one point, it was actually 34-0. That was entertaining. Chiefs scored last two drives. One drive for 75 yards, the second drive for 50 yards to bring it to 22 points. But this game was not as close as that final score looks, even though the final score was an 18-point differential. Oliver, you go ahead with your thoughts first.
I have so many thoughts. Kansas City wasn't ready for Eagles' defensive line. 6 sacks, 2 takeaways in the secondary. Jalen Hurts was commanding that offense very well. 2 touchdowns through the air, 1 rushing. Ended up being Super Bowl MVP, which was one of my picks for Super Bowl MVP. Which, Mike, I told you so.
I'm gonna let you
Because
finish.
you decided to be the only one out of the two of us to pick the Chiefs. Because they were playing really good football. Patrick looks like Patrick. Kermit the Frog is blue. You know what? You were wrong.
No, hey, look, I gotta take it.
Sometimes.
Kermit the Frog is crazy, man.
I'll take it. Go ahead, Cookie.
My take is Travis Kelce had 6 targets, 4 catches, 39 yards. Xavier Worthy, 8 catches.
I'm sorry. He has
yards.
that much.
Yeah, 157 yards for 2 TDs. Patrick Mahomes
That's not shocking.
was sacked 6 times. What was their offensive line? I think for the most part, when you have, like a lot of people say, when you have mediocre play all year, when you are not living up to your standard, what you usually do, blowing people out, you know what I'm saying? You barely win it, and no offense, Mike, you know what I'm saying? Y'all barely beat the Raiders. There's a lot of teams y'all barely beat this year. And y'all got away with a lot of stuff.
So much stuff. It's not, and then it got on to rigged allegations, and the refs are in favor of the Chiefs. The Chiefs aren't as good as they once were, but they were 14-1 after, 13 weeks before they lost to Buffalo. And then they played their backups against Denver, got destroyed, which didn't make a difference, obviously.
That was going to happen regardless.
Nobody's
going to start their starters at the end of the year.
But Patrick Mahomes also was top 2 or 3 in the league in interceptions this year, because he forced a lot of throws that he would have normally made if he had like his actual guys. But Travis Kelce wasn't himself this year. Granted, him playing how he played in the Super Bowl was apparent.
Swifty. It was a Swifters. Bless you, Bullfrog.
Thank you, bro. And it's just Xavier Worthy. That was their best draft pick this year. He was good all year. Yeah, horns. You'll never live down Jack Sawyer's fumble on Quinn's shitbag. He sucks.
He did have a shit game that game. I give you that one.
Bro, he played so lackadaisical that game. It was crazy. But Super Bowl, I want to ask the question, who's the Super Bowl favorites going into next year? And obviously we're going to say Philadelphia because they won. But I still think the favorite could be Kansas City again.
I'm gonna double you on that one. So the thing is, as far as the Super Bowl goes, I watched the whole game. I got a chance to watch the whole game, commercials, halftime show, all of that. I still don't feel wrong about my pick. I know they lost. I know they lost badly, but when we look at the Bengals season and you notice the ups and downs, at the end of the year, the Bengals offense was trending downward and the defense was trending up. It was just like that with the Chiefs. But the defense was staying at a high caliber, and the offense was starting to trend upward. So I felt like they were starting to get back on track. They looked really good. They didn't have everybody at that point either, so they were looking good. And I feel like, you know what? I do know that the top defense usually just crushes the top offense. You look at the Super Bowl with the Broncos and the Seahawks. Oh my God. The Seahawks have one of the better defenses that year.
The Broncos and Carolina Panthers
all the time. Just because the fact that you had one of the best, if not the best, NFL offenses of this modern era with Peyton Manning at quarterback, Welker, Demaryius Thomas, Julius Thomas,
yep.
And then you had a good running game with no Sean Marino and all these other guys.
I think Monty Ball was on that team too.
Monty Ball was on that team too. But then you had piled that with a defense that had Von Miller and only Von Miller at the time. You know, getting blown out of the Super Bowl is crazy work. Ask Kansas City. You can ask the Denver Broncos. Any other team who's ever gotten blown out in the Super Bowl.
New York Giants. When they played the 2000 Ravens, another good one example for a great defense against a great offense. But yeah, like I said, I still stick my pick with the Chiefs. I mean, I know I was wrong. I'm blatantly wrong. It happens to everybody. But you got to remember, they did have an All-Pro on the offensive line, Creed Humphreys. They had him. Joe Tooney, he's been an All-Pro guard at one point, even though they hadn't played that tackle. And this is just like the Super Bowl they lost against the Buccaneers. Defensive line play won the Buccaneers that game. A ton of penalties by the Chiefs won the Buccaneers that game, and that seems to be the formula to beating the Chiefs. But you're not going to force them into a bunch of penalties like that because they're one of the more disciplined teams. Even though everybody said it's rigged, they discredit the fact that Andy Reid is an amazing coach and always has one of the most disciplined teams in the league in history. So
surefire Hall of Famer, no doubt. I'm saying,
of course.
I'm going to say this out there. Each of the last 3 big games that Patrick Mahomes has played against, he lost to Tom Brady in the AFC title game, lost to Tom Brady in the Super Bowl, and then lost the Super Bowl when Tom Brady was calling the Super Bowl. I think that's crazy work.
We go with the conspiracy theories.
I'm not saying it's a conspiracy theory.
So basically, keep Tom Brady out of Kansas City. Is that what you're saying?
Is Tom Brady his kryptonite?
Keep Tom Brady out of Kansas City.
Tom Brady is kryptonite.
That's hilarious.
I saw that on Facebook the other day. I thought that was pretty funny. That
is pretty funny. That's
even Brady's not even.
Hey, them conspiracy theories, man, they just come up with the most dumbest things. Like, hey,
the most hilarious stuff, bro.
If the moon is down and it ain't moving, how do the sun come up?
Shit like that.
Every time it rains, 3 sprinkles on Patrick Mahomes' head, he throws for 400 yards. Take the over. Like, bro, where did you get that from?
Oh, man.
Oh, my goodness. But with the Super Bowl being over, we do know Jalen Hurts won Super Bowl MVP. Great performance by him. A lot of people picked Saquon to win it, but Saquon did not have his best game. But that kind of happens when 11 people are kind of, keying against you. They're going to key on you. The type of season he had. Offensive Player of the Year. Jalen Hurts is Super Bowl MVP. The Eagles had an amazing team. Speaking of awards, we will now recap the NFL awards from this season. We're going to discuss everything a little bit. How do you guys feel about Josh Allen winning MVP? Go ahead.
It could have gone either way.
Yeah.
How do you get so many votes for all the other awards and don't win MVP?
That's very true.
Player of the year.
Player of the year.
What was it? What was the other one? What was the other one he got?
Who, Josh Allen?
No, for Lamar Jackson.
Lamar.
He had 3 top votes for awards.
And didn't win any of them.
He got all those, but he got one less award for the MVP. That doesn't make any sense to me.
It don't make sense. And also, I don't even think the league really – I think the league kind of snubbed Jackson because they were kind of looking at it as a popularity contest of sorts, I guess, because Baltimore didn't go to the AFC title game. So Josh Allen and the Bills did.
But so I think people say the playoffs don't count. That is already beforehand. But at the same time, if you actually look back, Lamar actually had a better year than
a way better year than Josh Allen.
Way better year.
Way better year.
Do I discredit him for getting MVP?
No. But absolutely not.
Do I think he should have got it?
No.
I don't think he should have got it.
I think Lamar Jackson got severely overlooked for what season he had. He led the league in rushing touchdowns behind Derrick Henry, I think, and then behind Saquon. Led the league in rushing touchdowns
as a quarterback.
And I think he was tied for second with Jalen Hurts as a quarterback. Threw for more passing yards, better completion percentage, better QBR. With the team he had around him this year and the set of receivers that he had, I was very shocked when it was Josh Allen and not Lamar Jackson winning the MVP.
They felt sorry for him.
I kind of felt sorry for him, yeah, because he hosed everybody this year. He was a clear-cut favorite to win the MVP. And you know what? It's just what it is. It's the day and age we live in for how people vote for the MVP.
All right, so I'm going to bring this up. The exact same thing happened last year with Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen. Josh Allen had much better stats than Lamar did last year.
But Lamar won the MVP.
Yeah, Lamar won the MVP, yeah. So I'm thinking they really look more at impact than actual yards because you got to remember, Lamar had the number 1 seed last year.
Mm-hmm.
That was he went to the AFC title game. And this year, you remember Josh Allen beat the Chiefs and the Lions, both number 1 seeds of their respective conferences.
I think that was the main part right there.
That was probably the main part that really decided.
So you got to look at it that they don't just look at the stats because we've had back-to-back years where the second place person had better stats than the actual winner.
It's kind of like how the college football did it for the BCS. They look at the impact games,
quality of wins,
the quality of your win versus top 5, top 10 schools. Back in the BCS era.
I give them that part. Because you knocked out the number 1 team in both conferences.
Yeah.
But.
Yeah.
And also ended the undefeated streak of the Kansas City Chiefs.
Beat the Chiefs 30-21 and then beat Detroit 44-42.
And that was a shootout.
That was a good
That was
an
absolute shootout. That was an absolute shootout.
Expecting that? Yes, I was. Because there's no way them high-powered teams was going to go out with nobody coming out with the dub.
Absolutely.
It's hard to say I expect that because Jared Goff is such – I won't say he's a roller coaster because he doesn't have 1 week on, 1 week off. You just never know when he's going to randomly throw for 5 interceptions. It's so random when he does it.
Well, I have my own personal take on Jared Goff and a bunch of these quarterbacks who are so praised throughout the season. And I noticed a trend that a lot of these quarterbacks in the regular season come mostly out of the AFC, and it's only 1 or 2 teams that come out of the NFC. I call them regular season quarterbacks because they have a great regular season, get a good seed in the playoffs, can't get over the hump.
Sam Darnold.
Sam Darnold was never supposed to be that guy, bro.
He was never.
But he got lucky by being surrounded by a great cast. I mean, who's not going to be successful with who they have? Aaron Jones this year.
Aaron Jones,
running
Justin
back.
Jefferson.
They had Justin Jefferson. Addison's another great receiver. You got T.J. Hawkinson.
T.J. Hawkinson at tight end.
Like, who's not going to succeed with that?
But I like Laporta for them too.
But who would? Can you say this? Can you put anybody in that situation and do what he did
Absolutely
Which
not.
team?
with the Vikings?
Absolutely not. No.
Yes.
What quarterback? So you telling me that if they would have put in Daniel,
Say if they put Daniel Jones in that situation,
Yes.
he would have been successful.
Yes.
I don't believe you. I don't believe that.
Yes. Look how Daniel Jones was when he had Saquon.
For
Like when
1 year.
there was
That
no
was
pressure.
1 year.
There's
Out
no
of the
bro. That was
4
a year he had
years
no
that
real
he had
pressure on him
Saquon.
though. Look at how Daniel Jones performed with no real pressure on him when he had what was his last year with Saquon, second to last year. The
Yeah.
exact same thing happened with Sam Darnold. Who's going to feel real pressure with JJ, Hawkinson, Addison, and Aaron Jones behind you in the backfield? Where is the pressure for the quarterback? You just got to make the easy throws and let everybody else do the real work.
Well, it's not even the fact that it's just Darnold was there from day one when JJ McCarthy tore his ACL. He was there.
Exactly.
So he was able to do all that. So I see that aspect of that point. But if you are, say, what's this I'm thinking of? Remember in 2008, week 2 or 3, Tom Brady tore his ACL, Matt Castle came in.
Mm-hmm.
Led the Patriots to an 11-5 record, which is unheard of for that kind of era with a Tom Brady-led football team. Didn't make the playoffs that year. So I'm saying
I think Miami won a division. I think Miami won a division next year, and
Miami won the division
they
that
missed
year.
the playoffs.
Yeah, and then you look at that, it's like, okay, the Vikings don't have JJ McCarthy, their number 1 overall pick, tore his ACL. Then you bring in Sam Darnold, who's had a really rocky start as an NFL quarterback, probably because he didn't fit the right system for those particular teams.
I feel like it was that because you go from the Carolina Panthers to
you go from the Jets to the Panthers, who are the two worst franchises in the modern era of our football.
Yeah, that's just a terrible way.
On top,
and then those top 2 teams going to those teams, they have people coming out trash.
I wouldn't discredit Daniel Jones. If Daniel Jones is in that situation, I'd still think he's garbage, because Daniel Jones did not adjust well to the speed of the game, for one. Secondly, he only had Saquon on a good year for 1 year, and then it went downhill, got released. Injury prone, glass house. And the Giants are just terribly run as it is.
They are. We won't disagree. We won't disagree with that. Ever since Eli retired, they just been kind of in purgatory of finding quarterback.
On a spiral, bro. Like
Eli got out of Dodge real quick. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, but even with Eli, they weren't all that great. They had those 2 great years of Super Bowls, and other than that, they were just kind of middle of the pack for real.
Middle of the pack is fine for that organization. That's the organization they're supposed to be. They're supposed to be that team in the most difficult division in the NFC East, with Dallas, Washington. That is going to in Philadelphia. You got to be middle of the pack to stay up on that. So I'm not going to discredit. Manning always had them in the middle of the pack, but they don't know how to develop their quarterback since Manning left. They're just drafting dudes and throwing them in the fire just to see what happens.
But you can say it about any team, though.
You can.
I mean, look at Cleveland.
Hell yeah, you can.
I mean, Washington found a gem in Jaden Daniels.
They found,
but I feel like he would have been like that anywhere.
In the rough with Jaden Daniels.
They did, and I still hold the fact, and I will still say this till I turn blue in the face. He should have been drafted number 1 and not Caleb Williams. I will forever say that.
Caleb Williams shouldn't have went number 1 in the first place.
I don't believe Williams won his Heisman, but his year after that, when Jaden won it, Williams didn't show me anything that says he is surefire number 1. It may be recency bias because of
8 and
they went 8
5?
and 5, I believe, last year. His last year at USC.
Yeah, it was like he had a terrible fucking year. Terrible.
Yeah, and but looking at Jaden Daniels, it may be recency bias, and you can go ahead and put that out there because he did win the Heisman that year. He played against great competition and didn't have a bad year. He had a way better year than Caleb Williams, and I still don't see why the Bears became so infatuated with Caleb Williams and took him first.
You want to know why the Bears became so infatuated with Caleb Williams? And this is my thing I don't understand around these this aura around, oh, this guy's a surefire first-round pick. Oh, he's going to go number 1 of the draft because he plays quarterback at a top-tier program and does all this, that, and the third. The Chicago Bears haven't had a really decent quarterback
Ever.
since the 70s when
Ever. They've never had a great quarterback.
got the Super Bowl.
Like, ever. Even when they won with Jim McMahon at QB, the defense carried that team. No question.
Chicago has always had defense. Chicago is a defensive football team. Even with Justin Fields, they had a little bit of a spark, but they didn't have the talent around him to let Fields do his thing.
And the people
the coaching.
Saying it was Justin Fields' fault.
It's always the coaching.
And they said it was Justin Fields' fault with the Bears. You're fucking
stupid.
They drafted Caleb Williams to end up in the exact same situation.
So the coaching in the front office that puts these players in terrible situations to where they can't show their full potential. Caleb Williams was only drafted by Chicago because Chicago was desperate for a quarterback. Without even reviewing the ups and downs, the pros and cons. They're like, this kid's got arm talent. This kid won the Heisman 2 years ago, led the USC Trojans to a winning season. Let's draft him and see what happens. That's exactly what they did. And Caleb Williams, who was projected to win Rookie of the Year, did nothing impressive to me.
I feel like if he would have came out that year he won Heisman, maybe he would have did something.
Maybe.
I don't think that changes anything.
It doesn't change a thing, but it's just this allure around these lower NFL teams who look for these guys to fill a void that is unfillable at times because they want to look impressive. But when you hit that field and you don't show what you have been promising, that's an issue. I'd have an issue with that as a front office GM.
But I feel like it's more so play calling as well.
Play calling, coaching, the players around you. Like, I get building an NFL roster, 53 people. That's tough because you want a lot. You want to be successful. You want the most talented guys on the field. But building that roster around a rookie is tough because you don't know who you're going to have or who's going to do their best to perform.
Well, the thing is, a lot of teams, you have to treat a rookie quarterback like a newborn baby. You have to really have everything around them and protect them from the pitfall. If they're going to hit their head, you're going to find that the stove is hot. But if you're not doing everything in your power to prevent them from hitting their head as much as you possibly can, you're not helping.
Yeah.
And a lot of teams who fail when they draft quarterbacks do not. You realize they don't help their quarterbacks. Washington helped their quarterback immensely this year. That's why he was successful. The Eagles helped Jalen Hurts a ton his first year. That's why he was successful. Patrick Mahomes had a ton of help. Patrick Mahomes went to a team that won a division and went to the divisional round the year before he got drafted.
With Alex
Smith. He had a bunch of help. He was set up to succeed.
Alex Smith was a great guy to learn from.
I got a question. Mahomes. If Alex Smith did not get injured that year, will Patrick Mahomes still be the Patrick Mahomes he is today?
Yes.
Yes. The plan was to start Patrick no matter what happened to Alex. Alex could have won the Super Bowl MVP that year. He probably still would have got sent packing
but ended up getting traded to the Commanders and then blowing his leg out, and then that's his career.
I don't think he had. I mean, maybe he has the same success, but I feel like he doesn't have the same impact.
Mahomes was set up in a really good spot because the year before Alex Smith left, they had just drafted Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce. And so
I think Travis was there for a year. Then they drafted Kelce, and I think it was a year after. I think Kelce and Reek played together a year. Then it was a gap, and then they drafted Mahomes like 2 years after they drafted Tyreek.
Yeah, and then they were set up for success long before that. So Patrick Mahomes was really dropped in to their laps at the 17th pick of that draft. And a lot of people thought that Deshaun Watson was going to have that kind of career for what he did in college. And then he ended up getting all these allegations and missing 2 years.
But I feel like it was more so it's more so where you get drafted to.
It really
where you go matters immensely. Where you go matters more than your actual talent. Like it really does.
So when we get to the topic of the draft, I got a lot of things to discuss.
It's ruined his first couple of career years in the NFL. Yeah,
I'm going to
no,
debate that.
granted, he did still have D-Hop, but at the same time, you got one good receiver.
And he also had J.J. Watt and a few other guys around him. So,
Four people.
But I think Deshaun was going to be great regardless. I think the allegations and everything messed him up more than actual football stuff.
And now
I think everything outside of that is what really ruined his career.
You want me, Sash? You want me love you long time?
Oh my God. That is not how you live that up.
Show me how to throw a touchdown.
Wax on, wax off?
I show you
all right, guys.
Show me yours.
I show you.
All right, as much fun as it's been, guys, we got to keep it moving. We have Patrick Surtain Jr. as Defensive Player of the Year. How y'all feel about that?
Green.
I saw one comment saying, "How do you win Defensive Player of the Year with 3 interceptions?" I said, "It's much more than that. This man did not allow a receiver to go over 100 yards on him all year long.
He had every receiver in the box all year.
He had everybody locked down."
The really weird thing about playing corner is the best corners usually don't have the best stats.
Exactly.
Because nobody throws at them.
Who was the last cornerback to win Defensive Player of the Year?
I think it was actually Champ Bailey. I think was the last corner
Champ
win.
Bailey.
I believe it was Champ Bailey with the
Champ
Denver
Bailey
Broncos.
In 2004.
But that's different because he had 10 interceptions that year.
Yeah.
He had 10 picks. So he's an outlier when it comes to that.
But Patrick Surtain is a breed above everybody because he knows how to cover. Jalen Ramsey's one of the best corners in football. He's never won Defensive Player of the Year.
No, he hasn't.
He kind of went downhill.
And he went downhill when he went to LA, in my opinion.
But
Miami, now he's just kind of.
Pat and Ramsey are two different type of cornerbacks. Pat is more of your Champ Bailey. He's covering you everywhere you go. Jalen is really more or less of your.
He's your
Richard
typical
Sherman.
press man guy.
He's more of Richard Sherman.
He's a Richard Sherman. If you come to his side and you in my zone, it's over with.
It's over. But Jalen can actually play a little bit more man coverage better than Sherman could, and Jalen will come up and make a tackle on you.
Yeah,
definitely.
He'll put you in a box for real, whether he got to tackle you or he got to cover you. You remember the hit he had against I forgot the receiver's name for the Giants. He literally scooped dude and put him on his head, like
Malik
literally.
Neighbors.
No, it wasn't Neighbors. This was way before Neighbors was in the league.
He wasn't even in the league yet, fool.
He was Jalen was with the Rams at this point. He was with the Rams at that point. He did it.
Sterling Shepard.
I don't remember the name. No, I wasn't Shepard. It wasn't Shepard. But Jalen will come and make a tackle on you. He's more him and Pat play the corner position really differently. I'm not saying Pat won't come up and make a tackle, but making a tackle is a big part of Jalen's game. That's why he gets the amount of praise he gets. Oh, Jalen doesn't get that many interceptions every year. And like, no. There's more to playing corner than being in coverage and getting interceptions. It's not about
lockdown corner that can come up and make tackles.
If we're talking
tackle, they ankle bite most of the time.
If you're talking defensive backs winning Defensive Player of the Year, you should have given Blanche that Bland dude from Dallas last year.
Blanche from Dallas,
Defensive Player of the Year because he had 3 pick sixes and 6 interceptions.
Mm-hmm.
Should have given.
But was this season better than Miles or TJ's though? That's the question you got to ask.
Yeah,
it's really hard to compare. It's hard to compare defensive ends and defensive backs because they're literally never in the same area. But they affect each other's positions so much.
Hendrickson had 14.5 sacks this year. That led the league. And I don't know how many first place.
Yet we still have one of the worst defenses in the league.
I know, and that's just
It's discouraging. I know.
It's very discouraging. And I think J.J. Watt won Defensive Player of the Year on a bad defense.
Mm-hmm.
So anybody could do it. I'll go off next. Offensive Player of the Year was Saquon Barkley.
Easy. Well, not easy per se, but I see.
I wouldn't say easy. I'd say well deserved.
Very deserved.
Very
deserved.
Going to the 15.
I'm gonna touch on this too. I think Jamar Chase, since he was the Triple Crown, could have gotten a little bit of a vibe, a little bit of a vote in there.
If he wasn't such a crybaby.
Oh my God. I think team success played more in that decision than anything else because, like I said, we all know. Well, most people know. Actually, I lied. Most people don't know that the awards are picked the week of the wild card games. And not like Friday or Saturday morning. Their votes have to be in like Tuesday morning.
As soon as that season's over, that's literally the awards are picked.
Their picks have to be in like Tuesday morning of the wild card week, so they don't get to. They have to have the decision, all their notes, all their stats. That stuff is like talked about
way before
that Sunday/Monday. So the awards are basically picked Tuesday afternoon of wild card weekend. So when guys say, "Oh well, Lamar didn't win because he lost to Josh Allen," that had nothing to do with it. First off, second off, Lamar beat Josh Allen 35-10 this season.
Yeah.
So that would have had more of an impact on Lamar winning the MVP than that playoff game did.
Absolutely.
And while Lamar may have underperformed, he didn't play a horrible game. He just underperformed.
Lamar
for
Jackson
his season
had more touchdowns than turnovers this year.
No question.
And but Barkley had 2,000 rushing yards on a little over 300 carries when it would take a normal running back 400 plus carries to get to 2,000 yards.
I think he's the only running back to get 2,000 yards under 400 carries. I'll double check that after the show, but I'm pretty sure he is.
He's the only one.
I feel like they should have let him get that award. I think they should have let him beat that record.
That he didn't want it. He said himself he didn't want the record because there was one mic'd up I watched where he could have broke his own career rushing record, but he said no, I want to let the young guys get their reps in. So he said forget career records, whatever. He was there for the team rather than himself. He didn't want that record. He wanted to watch his team win.
You better than me. I'm petty. Giants released me. Then that NFL Hard Knocks clip came out. Oh yeah, I'm going for 200 on y'all. I don't care if it is the last game of the season.
I'm going
for 200.
I'm trying to go for 350.
So I'm breaking every record I can to get y'all. It's over.
And I'm trying that back jump again on people, bro. I'm doing it all.
The back hurdle.
Like I'm a backflip nuts, Marshawn Lynch nuts on forehead, bro. Like I'm that. I'm that. Like y'all just release me. Like you ain't even give me the real. Like you ain't even really want me here for real. Like you basically gave me an ultimatum. Like go find out what you can get and then come back to me. Why would you think people would do that, bro?
And then on top of that, they paid Daniel Jones instead of Saquon.
So, like, come on, you pay somebody that's been injured 4 out of what? How many years he been in the league? 6 years? 6 years? He's been injured 4 out of the 6 years.
Burrow's been injured 3 out of his 6, and they still paid him.
Like, what have you done?
That's a whole that you can't compare those two.
And then you get rid of Xavier McKinney, who went to Green Bay in the first 6 games, had a pick in every single game.
Like,
bro, like that your mindset as a GM, bro, like
that goes back to you need to put these players in the right spot. They're gonna be great for you.
Definitely will, no doubt about it. Because there's no way that you get rid of one of the best backs that's in the league.
He's probably the best back of our generation.
Without an injury, he's one of the best backs in the league. But you got rid of him.
You got him, you got Derek, you got Aaron Jones, you got Josh Jacobs. So,
like,
not to mention you got James Cook in Buffalo, who's actually really good.
He's actually James Cook out here seeking contracts.
Shit, I would too.
He led the league in rushing touchdowns this year.
Why
not? So I don't see why he wouldn't get paid.
I don't see why not.
16, 17. So
yeah, I believe so. I need all my paper at all times.
Joe Burrow, comeback player of the year.
I don't see anybody else who would have earned it.
Nobody else. That was.
You blow your wrist out, and then you lead the league in touchdown passes, passing yards, completion percentage, first in all categories. Yeah, that's your award to win. That's just my opinion. And there's not really much to say good or bad about Joe Burrow, but if the Bengals stop starting their first few weeks off slow and then try to come from behind.
First few weeks, they went 4. We went 4-8 the first 3 months, bro. What you mean first few weeks?
First few weeks, bro. Y'all
listen
defense.
To me. I don't want to talk about it because
I'm so heartbroken. Y'all problem was y'all defense.
I'm so devastated. It was terrible.
Offensive line.
Now we had to go 4-8 to get our head out of our ass to finish 9-8 and still miss the playoffs because we couldn't. We had a terrible defense.
If we win just one more game in the first 3 months, we're in the playoffs without question.
No question
Absolutely.
about it.
And
No
the
question about
problem,
We should have.
everyone wants to blame the defense for what happened, but the real problem is that all three phases of our team never showed up in the same game.
Never.
You look at the Chiefs game when the defense actually played pretty decent. Offense couldn't get another score. You look at the Dallas game. The offense died in the Dallas game, and we got saved by some random in a Cowboys uniform muffing a punt.
Yeah.
Like, I'm
Hey,
sorry, that's
that
just
is
what
the
it
most
is.
trashiest
Everybody
thing.
wants to be mad about it, but that's exactly what it was. You look at
It's
the
true.
New England game, first game, we held New England 16 points. I mean, there's nothing to go crazy about.
But we couldn't
But our
stop the
offense put
run.
up 10 points, bro. We
We
put
couldn't
up 10 points
stop
against the
the run.
Patriots. Like, it was too many times where we ended up getting lucky if we won the game, or we just happened to have some random event happen. Like, it was
I
never
think y'all
a
losing
point
against the
where
Chiefs.
we just got beat in the game. It was one offense showed up, defense didn't show up. Defense would show up, offense lollygagging behind them. Special teams was never a factor for us outside of that kickoff return against Cleveland. Other than that, the special teams was hit or miss.
Yeah.
Like Evan McPherson was randomly missing kicks. Like we never
Everybody's missing
got
kicks, dude.
huge
It's not
returns
just
from our return
McPherson.
game either. So
Everybody's missing fucking kicks. The NFL.
But
everybody's missing kicks, bro.
I think the downfall with the kickoff return, I really didn't feel that.
The dynamic kickoff, I wasn't feeling at all.
That was.
I like it personally.
Just because it's safer, I get it, but it just doesn't bring that same aspect to the game that we all love, where we expect everybody to just run down the field at full speed and smack somebody. Where that's what we grew up watching. That's how we played.
It is.
Well, if people knew how to actually tackle,
that would be a fact. That would be no
not
problem.
trying to be UFC fighters and boxers and soccer players and all in one sport, then you know what I'm saying, they wouldn't change the kickoff and the kickoff return. If everybody did the right thing, then we wouldn't have to worry about this. Now they coming out with the Guardian hats, like with the Guardian caps. Like,
okay, what's a piece of cloth on my helmet gonna protect me from?
I mean, it can save you from a concussion for sure.
Right, but that's why they keep upgrading
concussion
the
rates were down this year. I think they went down by 10 or 15% this year. So the Guardian caps did work for the purpose that they were created for. So we can't argue against that.
They just look stupid on their heads.
They do not look fashionable at all. I will agree with that.
And my thing is, why is a big ass lineman wearing a Guardian cap, bro? Like, why?
But all they do is bang heads, bro. It should be it almost should be mandatory for them to wear. All they do is bang heads.
Man, they was on the school buses and the short buses, bro. They used to wear Guardian caps. Come on, bro. Y'all know how to protect y'all heads, bro. Come on, man. Y'all, we grown, bro. Y'all know how to not to use y'all helmet or the crown of your helmet, bro. I mean, it's kind of crazy.
Who won? Okay, so we did MVP, offensive, defensive comeback. Who won?
We had Rookie of the Year with Jaden Daniels.
No brainer.
There was nobody
who won Coach of the Year?
That would have been McConnell from Minnesota. I mean, who do you have that would have been a better choice?
Dan Quinn. Commanders.
Where? With the Panthers?
With the Commanders?
With the Commanders, I would argue Dan Campbell in Detroit.
He already won that. He won that last year.
He did, but what's to say he can't win again?
They already know what he can do.
But he was the number one seed with 16 players on IR.
Yeah, and you still got blown out in the first round, in the second round.
That's irrelevant to the award. We talked about this. We talked about this.
You don't win 15 fucking games and get blown out in the divisional round. That's why I say Dan
I'm not going to argue against that, but when it comes to the awards, I don't know if I'm going to say fortunately, but that's irrelevant. I'm still going to say Dan Campbell should have won it because I'm going to go back a couple years.
Quinn really turned around that Commanders with Jaden Daniels, and they made it to the NFC Championship game his first year.
They did. They also beat the eventual Super Bowl champs.
If they didn't pick,
they did beat Philly. They did beat Philly.
Yeah, if they didn't pick the awards after the end of the season, going into Wild Card Weekend, we had a wholly different conversation.
Can you
But
really
that's the
say they
thing, though.
beat?
It would
Can
be
you really
unfair
say
for
they beat
everybody else,
Philly
though.
without their quarterback?
Do what?
Can you really say they beat Philly without Jalen Hurts?
No, they beat
Yes.
Philly with Jalen Hurts.
Whether Jalen Hurts played or not, you still beat the other 23 starters. Like
And
Saquon played that game. Sweat played that game. Carter played that game.
Jaden
DeJon
Daniels led
and
the league in
Mitchell and
comeback
Blake, they all
victories
played
this
that
year.
game.
Jaden Daniels led the league in come from behind fourth quarter drives this year.
Won against our Bengals. But yeah.
The Bengals, yeah. Well, not really against the Bengals because the Bengals didn't deserve to win that fucking game.
I'm going to debate that too. But yeah, I'm going to argue Dan Campbell because if you go back the year we went to the Super Bowl, Mike Vrabel won Coach of the Year that year for the Titans because he got the number 1 seed with a bunch of players on IR.
Which I still think it should have been Zach Taylor.
I'm going to debate that. I'm going to debate that till I fall asleep. I'm sorry, Zach did not deserve that, bro. He went 10 and 6 in a division that did not have Lamar Jackson in it. I'm sorry, he didn't beat. I think he beat Lamar once that year. That was one of the 2 wins we got against Lamar Jackson.
Because Lamar was hurt. Okay.
That shouldn't help your situation. The fact that Lamar was hurt should be a detriment because you didn't beat one of the best players in the league.
That's big.
That is big. Yeah, I'll give you that.
I mean, look, Dan Campbell. Obviously he lost to Josh Allen, but he damn near dog walked everybody else.
That's true.
Damn near.
So I'm gonna go ahead and argue that Dan Campbell in Detroit should have been back-to-back Coach of the Year. So I know there's going to be arguments against it.
I can vouch for that, especially with all the people y'all really had on IR.
Yeah,
offensively and defensively.
Yeah,
that's
we all got
tough.
our opinions. That's for sure.
That's tough.
Moving on, we're gonna go ahead and move on. We have Ben Johnson for Assistant of the Year, Detroit Lions, former Detroit Lions offensive coordinator. Ben Johnson.
He is crazy to win that award, and then as soon as he loses in the playoffs, all right, I'm gonna go be the head coach of the Bears.
I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna let you
walk.
I'm gonna let you cook first. Go ahead. Oh, I'm gonna let you cook. Go ahead.
No, Ben Johnson,
I got something to say too.
He is the most pettiest coach I've ever seen. Going and playing with Detroit, getting that offense where it needs to be, successful 3 years. Then he says, "You know what? I can't take this. We just lost really badly. I'm out." Goes to Chicago, and that's going to be a dumpster fire. I don't know what's going to happen with him and Caleb Williams.
I doubt it,
but we'll see.
You want to go before I go, Cookie?
I doubt it's a dumpster fire. I believe he can improve Caleb Williams. The offense that they ran this year was like dynamic. Like you don't see most of the stuff that they ran this year.
You mean Detroit?
Yeah. You don't see most of the stuff that they ran this year. Can you put that in anybody else's playbook?
They did a lot of fancy stuff, man. Oh my goodness!
Like they did the fake fumble stumble.
The fake fumble Lucy, that was crazy.
I think the Detroit Lions had the most lineman touchdowns out of every team in the
Nason Well damn near catches a pass every 3 games. So
and you can't even put him on FanDuel for a touchdown.
No,
like that,
but Chicago
he will improve Caleb Williams next year.
But here's the thing: Chicago needs an offensive line.
Still,
I think a lot of teams do.
Receivers, and I think they need a better defensive line.
I wouldn't say receivers. I think
the receiver core is great, to be honest with you.
I'm not going
to. If Keenan Allen ends up staying, I'll take back that.
Romeo Doomsday.
I'll take back that statement. If Keenan Allen ends up staying, I'll take back that statement.
Romeo Doomsday. They still got DJ Moore.
Yeah.
They still got DeAndre Swift, who actually is a pretty decent back. Committed tight end.
Yeah.
You got Romeo Doomsday, who's young, but he shows some promise. So my thing about the whole Ben Johnson thing, everybody knows
petty
that he took the job in Chicago before the game. We all know that.
There's no doubt about that.
No doubt.
He took that before the game. It was all over Twitter. It was all over Facebook, whatever. And the thing I saw was people debating that it was his fault and that he wasn't focused and that's why they lost. I'm like, bro, y'all had a good 5 turnovers.
It's more
and
than that.
your defense gave up what 48 points.
48
Like
points.
you can't blame the offense. The offense still scored.
They still did.
The offense still put up a bunch of numbers.
The defense went in that week very banged up.
And
Can't
once
fault
again,
for that.
back to my argument for Dan Campbell winning Coach of the Year. Like we circle right back to it.
Yeah.
So, but for people to blame Ben Johnson is crazy.
It's
because they act like he was calling bad plays.
He had
He's
great
never
plays.
he was
They had
never
great
calling
play
bad
calls,
plays. Plays just didn't
terrible
work. Like it
execution.
happens.
It happens.
Just like Jared. But this is what we talked about. Josh Allen. Jared Goff loses in big games. He's not
a big game
the person to take into a big game and go in and win.
The thing is, I'm gonna disagree with that, not because you're wrong, but because he threw 5 picks against the Texans. How is that a big? That's the middle of the season. That's not a big game. That's not going to determine your own seeding in your conference. That's against the Houston Texans, bro. That's a random game on a Wednesday for us.
That's a random.
That's a random pickup game on a Wednesday.
You
you threw 5 picks, bro.
You understand? You get so used to winning, and you're playing your ass off, playing off the charts. These quarterbacks often get comfortable in these games, thinking, "Oh, it's an easy win." You throw 5 picks. That's what
you're right.
And did the defense save him that game? Didn't they?
They did. They still somehow won that game. They still won that game. And then I'm not gonna discredit Jared Goff because he's had games where he's literally thrown 0 incompletions. I think there was a point where he went. I think it was a point he had like 5 incompletions in a 3-game span, like total. So Jared Goff, with that offense that he's in, can perform in that offense, but he has random games where he just goes off the side of a cliff for some reason, and I've never understood it. He did it in L.A. That's why they got rid of him. That's why they're searching for Matt Stafford. He would do it in L.A.
But Matt Stafford,
St. Louis at that time.
But Matt Stafford, he's in L.A. when he got there. Is how he could have been if Detroit would have kept him, but he was in a bad spot in Detroit at the time.
Well, Detroit's always been a bad spot. They had the run in the early 90s with Barry, and then they had their run before the AFL-NFL merger, and they're having a run now. But Detroit...
they did Megatron so dirty by not giving him, at least some semblance of hope that he could have won a championship.
Yeah, he had Stafford for his last 3 years. He had Matt Stafford before he retired.
Yeah, as soon as Matt left, he retired. So,
but they did the same. But they did the same thing to Barry.
Yeah.
So that's why he retired. They were starting to get rid of guys who really helped him out on the offensive line and around the team, and he felt like they weren't building around him. And he said, "I'm gonna just retire." I don't think he actually wanted to leave Detroit. So instead of leaving Detroit and going somewhere else, he decided he was just going to retire a Lion.
I saw in an interview once that he had left because he was tired of losing.
Exactly.
He was tired of losing. His body couldn't handle all the hits he was taking because he was the one getting the ball the most, and he was taking.
When you got a linebacker, a safety, a corner, maybe a DN coming to hit your ass on a screenplay or a deep pass or anything.
Yeah,
yes, I want to get the hell out of here too.
Get the hell out of Dodge.
Can't nobody else do nothing. But I got one thing to say to all the Detroit fans. I'm sorry, but catch the ball next time. Hold on to the ball.
That's hilarious.
Okay. Shit. All right.
Yep. Last one we got. Last award would be Jared Verse, Defensive Rookie of the Year in LA with the Rams.
I give that.
I give that.
Yeah, guy was solid. I really can't think of anybody who would have won it, to be honest with you. The guy was solid in LA.
This year. He was really good this year. I didn't look up much stats about him, but I watched some highlights of him. But he's a dog.
That's nice, man. I watched him play. I think it was the Minnesota game. He just went crazy. I was like, he's gonna be good. He's gonna be good for a few years. He won't be Aaron Donald level. That obviously that's to be seen.
Yeah,
but I don't think he'll get Aaron Donald level, but I think he's going to be really, really good. Even whether he stays at LA, whether he leaves, I think he'll be good. I think he'll be good anywhere. Personally,
yeah. But as we move on I
He
think
had
I want
66
to.
total tackles, 36 solos, 30 assists, 4.5 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, 2 recovered. Yeah,
That's a
2
solid
PP,
year.
yeah,
That's a
2
That's a
solid year.
solid
PPUs.
year.
That's a solid year. That gets a lot. That gets people paid. I'm not gonna hold you. That
I
gets
think
people
someone
paid.
who could be the next Aaron Donald, but he's not a defensive tackle. He plays D end. I think it's Jalen Carter.
No, they slide Jalen Carter inside. They definitely
Yeah,
put
so
they
I think
definitely put
Jalen
him at the
Carter has a
nose
really
and
good
let him
shot.
have it go to your side.
I think Jalen Carter's got a good shot at being kind of the next Aaron Donald if he stays healthy.
I think the closest to Aaron Donald right now is Chris Jones in Kansas City.
Yeah,
I think Jones might. I feel like Jones is going to retire.
I don't think he'll probably do one more year. I doubt he.
I think Jones has 2 more years. I
I
think.
feel like he might do it somewhere else, but not in Kansas City.
Why?
He'll stay at Kansas. He got hurt during the game during the Super Bowl,
I think that was the main. That was a big downfall for them with him getting hurt.
Well, it's
I don't think that would have mattered.
everybody else lined up like this, right? They lined straight up, head up, ready to go. He lined up like this, so he was coming, bang.
Mm-hmm.
He lined up sideways, trying to stop the tush push, and fucking.
He hurt his neck. Yep,
hurt
I
his
remember.
neck.
I know exactly what play you're talking about. He hurt his
Lining up
neck.
like a dumbass.
Yeah, but I don't think Chris Jones is going anywhere for the next couple years. I don't see a reason for Chris Jones to retire. He's still probably the best D tackle in the league outside of arguably Jalen Carter. He's on a immensely winning team. He has one of the greatest coaches in possibly NFL history, Andy Reid. I don't see a reason unless it's some crazy health issue we don't know about. I don't see a reason for him to lose any level of the game or to not want to be anywhere but Kansas City, even if it's just sitting at home on the couch watching the games.
Before we move on to free agency, what do y'all think about this thing about J.J. Watt retiring to play for the Bengals because a soccer goalie made a bet with him?
It's not going to happen.
That's
Just to add context for everybody who don't know, JJ Watt is part owner of a soccer team. I don't remember the name of it, but the goalie for that team is a humongous Bengals fan, and he told JJ that he has to come out of retirement to play for the Bengals for I think it's just 1 year if he doesn't give up a goal for the rest of the season. And so far, the guys have given up a goal for 13 straight games. The guys has held everybody scoreless. 13 straight games. So right now, JJ Watt is sweating a little bit. Having to come and be the origin back for a year.
JJ Watt posted on Twitter that he was looking at homes in Cincinnati. I feel like he's gonna follow through.
Oh, I don't doubt that. I don't doubt that. I'm gonna.
I feel like if that were the case, I think you let Trey Hendrickson walk.
No, because he'd only be here for a year.
Oh yeah, you got that point. You got a point.
He'd probably only be here for a year.
I want to let Trey Hendrickson go for a year before I get rid of him.
No, I wouldn't do that either. Bugging. You're drunk.
Okay, so
what the hell wrong with
shall
you?
we move on to free agency then? Let's move on.
Y'all ain't gonna get him back in the free agency now. How about that?
Before we hit free agency, we got one more thing. I know Cookie's probably gonna run this. Probably gonna run this topic. We're gonna take a little sneak peek at the All-Star weekend. Just peek at it a little bit. We had Matt McClung winning the dunk contest for the 3rd straight year.
I have a question. Who does Matt McClung play for?
He is
He's in the G
League player. He plays for the G League.
He's a G League player winning dunk contest?
He's a G League player winning dunk contest.
Yeah, I mean, but this is the thing. He was been in the league before, but he's just not.
Give that man a contract. Seriously,
he's not that guy. He's not a hooper, bro. Yeah, like don't get me wrong, Matt. He's a great athlete. He's just not.
Athlete. He's a great show guy who entertains, but he's not a hooper.
Yeah, I mean, but at the same time, I don't think he's NBA caliber. Just like a lot of people that come into the league, they're good in college, but when they come to the league, they realize it's a faster and a different game. Just like people that come from college and go to the NFL.
That's the process of any pro league, though. Coming from college to a pro league, and any sport is always different. That's why there's so many guys who spend time in the G League in the NBA or the minor leagues in baseball.
A lot of people go overseas to play,
and you also got overseas.
They come play in the game in the NBA. So it's not that he's not good. He's just more so need more development. Just
The
like
thing is, you gotta compare him to other NBA players, not to people like me and you. That's the problem people have. They
exactly
be like, "Oh, well, this guy sucks. Oh, he sucks. He played the professional athletes, bro. If he
like
came to play with me or you, he's dunking on our heads 11 times out of 10
he's coming to dunk on your neck, bro.
the whole
he
game.
he
No jump,
doing one of
no
them
jump shots, bro. All dunks.
like green, like straight green bean, no 2K stuff. You know what I mean? But it's like y'all gotta realize like the players that's in the NBA right now, that's a whole different
That's a whole different level.
whole different breed.
The
than somebody coming out of college.
the last guy on the G League bench is closer to LeBron than we are to him, and that's what people would never understand.
You know what I
Like
mean?
if we played basketball against a G Leaguer who's barely on the roster, we would
he
get
will hoop us.
21-0.
He will hoop us, no doubt about it.
It
That's just like
we'll get
somebody that's overseas who in the Canadian League, who in the IFL, the arena football, all them, bro. They still professional
They're still
football players. They
professional
are
athletes. They're still
professional.
pro
That's why
athletes.
it's called a professional league, bro. And people have to realize, yeah, they might not make it in the NBA, but if they go over there and play, they are actually dominant. So it's like there's that's different.
That's how Pat Beverly got in the NBA. He spent
Like
years overseas. He spent years
and then
overseas.
People don't realize like a lot of people like it overseas or in the G League better than
I heard they actually get paid a little bit more money too, for real, without all the extra stuff.
Like
that's why so many. That's why so many.
The same. If you're not a top notch baller, like a top notch player, you ain't getting that money.
Yeah, you ain't getting the money. That's why so many WNBA players go overseas and supplement their income.
That's why a lot of people won now. A lot of kids are staying in college because they're making more money in college than they will in the pros. Then you got people going overseas or trying to go to the G League to get developed and make more money.
And make money at the same time.
And then come over to the NBA and then be like, let me show y'all what I can really do after I just got developed in the G League. So it's you just gotta. It's pros and cons about it, but y'all gotta really think like they still professionals at the end of the day.
It's a lot more that goes into it than people actually realize.
It's way.
It really is. It really is.
Bro.
And not even just comparing themselves to pro athletes. They don't understand the workout them guys do. They don't understand all the extra time them guys put in studying. Not even just actually going to play basketball. Those guys spend if those guys work out for a good 6 hours, maybe 2 of those are spent playing actual basketball.
And most of the time,
actual.
They don't even shoot the ball 9 times out of 10. Most of the time, they just dribble.
A lot of time it's setup stuff. Like getting to a spot, learning how to do a certain dribble or a certain move to get you to an open shot.
And people gotta realize it's not even a lot of people that can go out there and do half of these workouts that they're doing right now.
Exactly.
I'm out of shape. I know I am. I know if I went out there and did an NFL workout or an NBA combine workout, I'm dead.
Turtles.
I'm dead.
Turtles.
Over with. Slow motion. No coming back for me. NBA never broke again. I'm gonna be broken. You know what I mean? Like, bro, that's not. It's not for everybody. It's not easy. And people
there's a reason. There's a reason they're getting paid to do it, and we aren't. So,
there's a reason we watch it,
and half of that reason is half of that season is the off camera work. A lot of guys lose their work ethic for whatever reason, and then they sit on their couch and critique the guys who actually were willing to put the work in to get to that level. So it's as they say, it's levels to this. So,
nah, for real, it's real levels to it, and
real levels to it.
Not really down for it. It's over with. You know what I'm saying? You can't get that back.
Yep. Moving on, we had Tyler Hero who won the 3-point contest.
Bro, that was kind of shocking. I ain't gonna lie to you. That was really shocking.
I seen the list of who was in it.
Like,
I thought Dame would have won it, to be honest with you.
Dame didn't even make it past the first round.
Are you serious?
But the crazy thing was, Buddy Hield had, if I'm not mistaken, he had the highest first round. He had at least, I think it was 32, 34 points. Second round, you barely.
Oh my goodness.
Second round, you barely get 20 points.
Oh yeah, that's the fatigue.
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
fatigue.
like, why are you burning your? I get, you know what I'm saying. You gotta get to the second round. You know what I mean. Shoot your, you know what I'm saying. Shoot it up until you get there. But at the same time, bro, you just wasted all your energy in the first round, and then you barely get a dub in the second. That's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah, I saw one. I was like, "Ooh, like everyone, okay."
Like,
I didn't know it was a shooter like that.
That's really crazy. But
You got
it was good. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I think next year, a lot of people were talking about it. If Ja Morant, Aaron Gordon, Zach LaVine, and Mac McCollum, if they are in the dunk contest next year, I think the NBA ratings will go skyrocket next year.
So my question with that is, Ja Morant, the whole point of the dunk contest is creativity, right? Do you think Ja can really be a creative dunker and not just somebody who tries to tear the rim off every time he dunks?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
There's a lot of people that you can think, yes, he's a jumper. Oh, he can jump out the gym. But there's not that many people in this league that is his height.
Well, let me ask you,
6'11", 7-footers, like, and coming straight, cock back. I'm on your head.
Yeah, I've seen plenty of Ja dunks to know what he be doing.
Go
ahead, Oliver.
Let me ask you this. For these dunk contest participants, you know, you got guys who can jump out of the gym, get creative, all this stuff. You seen what Vince Carter did in those dunk contests?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think
Legendary.
Ja Morant could be like a Vince Carter in the dunk contest?
I feel like an Aaron Gordon game. Aaron Gordon,
or like what Dwight Howard did that one year in 08.
I remember that one.
Yep. I feel like the dunk contest will go back up with more entertainment. Don't get me wrong, it was okay this year. It was cool. But the All-Star weekend altogether, I think it was a downward spiral.
I'll tell you what was a downward spiral.
And I all started, I thought it was funny when Chris Paul and Wembanyama.
I was just about to bring that up too. I was just about to bring that up.
That in the skills challenge, was it a smart tactic? Yes. But a lot of people were salty because nobody has ever done that in that competition. And it's like, you gotta, yes, it is cheating because you're not putting up actual shots. But the creativity behind it to try to get a better score, I think, was phenomenal. But I feel like they should have got another chance or did something better.
You know, since you brought that up, we'll go ahead and move forward to that one. Team Cavaliers, Cleveland won the skills challenge as a team. Evan Mobley and Donovan Mitchell pulled it out after Draymond Green missed the catch passes, was kind of penalized them. So they ended up winning it. Team Cavaliers winning the skills challenge.
I don't even know why they even put him in those competitions anymore.
Because of how good of a passer he is. Because of his versatility. That's all it is. Because he's not a shooter. He leads the war, but even when KD was there, he leads the Warriors offense. He's their point guard. Like let's keep it a stack there. He's their point forward.
He's their point forward, but at the same time, to put him in that, I think a lot of people got to think ratings wise.
Who else would you have put there for him though?
Who else?
Yeah.
I'm gonna leave Steph in there. I'm gonna leave. I would put Gary Payton Jr. I would put him in there.
Yeah, that's a good argument.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, they got they got high caliber players to be able to pass the ball and they can shoot. But it's like I think the Cavaliers was they were already highly favored to win that in the first place.
Yeah, one of the best teams in
no
the NBA.
Sure. There was no doubt they was gonna win it regardless. But I think did the Warriors give them a run for their money at first? Yes, but if they did, I think if the Cavaliers went second, I think it probably would have been a different story. Maybe.
Good thing. All right, and finally to end our recap of All-Star Weekend, you have Team OGs led by Coach Shaq, beating Team Chuck 41-25. So the way they did the All-Star game this year, they actually played it like a tournament. They played a quarter for each game instead of an actual full game of 12-on-12. They split everybody up into eights. And then they ran a quarter per session, and whoever had the most points in that quarter, that's how they determine who won.
So it started on Friday, with the Rising Challenge. I feel like Draymond said, I agree with him. You don't give the players that's doing it now the same opportunity that you gave players coming up of scoring and being that dynamic person that actually showing people like why I am an all-star. You know what I mean? Like you're not giving players now to beat the scoring records that's in the all-star games this now because of the fact y'all want to only put 40 points to be the winner. And then it's NBA teams now, they score 40 points in the first quarter with no hesitation. So it's like that's
yeah, they got action.
I don't feel like that's I feel like they need to change it back. Yes, they can still do I would prefer instead of 40 points, do a running clock. What can y'all do in 15 minutes or in a first half type of scenario?
Like they do in college.
I feel like it should be a first half thing. If it's a first half thing, you still get that, okay, y'all can show what y'all got. But don't get me wrong. Everybody knew the OGs was gonna win. You can't beat an old head that's already been doing this.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, you can't beat the people that already been doing this for over 10 years, basically. You know what I mean? They've been in
all the tricks.
They've been there doing this plenty of time. So it ain't there's nothing behind that you can beat. They know what they're doing.
Mm-hmm. So my argument a little bit against the whole Draymond thing, if you don't want them to be there at the game, beat them. Like it's just like my point with the whole flag playing thing that everybody had a problem with in college football. If you don't want somebody planting the flag on your home field, don't lose on your home field. Like I don't know what's so difficult to understand about that.
I mean, I don't think it's mostly that, but I feel like it's just more so like I think they should take it back to the original style of the All-Star Weekend. Everybody plays a game.
That's
also how I feel about the Pro Bowl. Like how they dismantled the Pro Bowl. I feel like they should let them put pads back on in the Pro Bowl. Fuck all these skills challenges and flag football because
I wouldn't say that. I would still do the skill challenges. That's still a good.
I do think those are good. I think those are good for both leagues, NFL and NBA.
Now the flag portion of it, I get you on that part because it's
just let them put pads on. They're already there.
You're starting to be soft.
But the NBA and NFL have the same problem with their All-Star games. Nobody plays defense. That's why they took away the Pro. That's why they took away the Pro by minute of flag game.
Nobody wants.
That's the exact problem you have. You're not. I'm sorry, but you're not going to be out there and have NBA All-Star game be 205 to 194.
Why not?
Why not? That's crazy, bro.
It's entertainment.
Because nobody's making an effort. There's no effort in the game.
What is the name of the game? Entertainment. I am entertaining
There's no effort, bro.
Putting up 200 points in this game for y'all.
Bro, I already don't watch much basketball outside of the finals. I'm not about to watch an All-Star game for people to run up and down the court with no resistance. I don't
Bro,
want to watch
people
Trey
throwing
Young
oops.
run down the court with a ball in his hands and then walk back while somebody else run down the court. Like it's gonna be just like what LaMelo did when he had them 81 points at Chino Hills. I'm just cherry picking the whole time. Like, brother, I'm sorry. I don't. That's boring to me. I'm sorry.
Like watching tennis. I don't want to watch
That's
tennis.
That's
different.
boring.
LaMelo is just a little fart nugget that just is good. You know what I'm saying? He's just a person that's like he's really talented. He's very talented. But I mean I get what you're saying. I get it. But man, put that shit back how it was, bro. Let these motherfuckers hoop.
I'm gonna end with this. I think that if both leagues put an emphasis on defense in their All-Star games, that would jump up the popularity of both leagues. I mean, I understand people like seeing slam dunks or them logo threes, but you can't tell me that you don't get excitement watching LeBron James sending the blocker to the third row. Like that's crazy. Watching the dude try to
Speaking
dunk
of
on Shaq
LeBron
and Shaq
James,
put it right back in his face, bro. That's insane.
speaking of LeBron James, I'm sorry for
Go ahead.
you,
I was
LeBron.
gonna bring it up too, but go ahead because that's my next argument. Go ahead.
LeBron
I'm gonna let you
James,
go first.
you're a nice player. You're a great player, but you a hoe. Don't you ever in your life cancel an hour before? That's like a rapper being like, "Hey, I'm not performing an hour before the concert, and I can't get my money back."
Hey,
So
that
you
is
think
crazy
I'm about to
work,
sit here
bro.
and
Oh
listen
my
to a
That's
God.
DJ play his mixes of the songs that you could have performed? Hey, listen here. You ever
yeah.
cancel it before again? I'm gonna come to LA. No, I'm just kidding. All right, no, I'm just playing. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah.
But
Part of the problem. Go ahead. Cause I'm gonna let you finish. My bad.
but at the
I'm
same
gonna let you go. Go
time,
ahead.
I feel like it should have been a bigger notice. I get you want to save your, you know what I'm saying, your legacy in the All-Star game.
You want to be
But at
healthy.
the same time, I feel like an hour before is kind of like, you know what I'm saying, like kind of hurtful, especially to the people that, probably spent their hard-earned money, you know what I mean, to
him.
come see
Also,
you.
weekend costs a lot, bro.
Yeah, like,
Like
hey,
also weekend costs
I
a
looked at a ticket.
ton.
I looked at a ticket. It was a band just for
See?
a top row.
See?
And that ain't even nowhere near the floor. You know what I'm saying? Like, but that's what kind of I think a lot of people was hurt by that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like an hour before, that's kind of messed up. But at the same
Because
time,
these are people who probably have never seen LeBron James in person play basketball. And then he just comes out and says, "You know what? I'm not coming."
And then Dog came and played. He played 2 days ago after All-Star game. Like, that's crazy.
Not much you can do about it. I guess he's gonna do what he's gonna do, but that's crazy.
Nah, bro. Scrap me, bro. At all times, bro. I'm ready for the smoke. Cause that's just. It was kind of hurtful. It wasn't hurtful to me, but it's like I watched the All-Star game. You know what I'm saying? So.
Yeah, and to bring this up, part of people's problem with the NBA All-Star Game is the fact that it seems like the players don't care about being there. And you got proof of that with the whole Wembanyama and CP3 thing at the Skills Challenge. They just thought they weren't trying to win. Well, they were trying to win, but they were trying to loophole the system with just throwing the shots near the rim and not actually shooting the ball.
I feel like if one would have actually went in or like something would have actually happened, I think they probably wouldn't have made such a big deal about it. But I don't know.
And then also on top of that, you got LeBron James deciding to sit out an hour before the game. It really makes it feel like the players don't really care about being there.
Mm-hmm.
But when you do that, you take away the legitimacy of the All-Star game. So you got to find a way in order to make it seem like guys actually care about being at the All-Star game. And that's what's really going to bring popularity back to the All-Star game.
I can see that. More defense definitely would bring more audience to it. But,
Yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens with it. in the recent years to see if they do anything different. I mean, there's been a lot of good ideas brought up by people, but I don't think anything solid is going to come out of it unless players care about being there. You can, and another thing is people talking about, because in the Pro Bowl, the winners and losers get money. The winners usually get double the amount that the losers get because obviously they won the game.
Right.
But at that time, you're already getting paid to play the game, and y'all care so much about these All-Star games, but we got to pay y'all to play in them and be in them. That doesn't make any sense. It just doesn't.
I get that. I definitely get that. If I'm paying
So,
you, that's just like a lot of people. That's just like the college player jumping out of the bowl games to go, you know what I'm saying, to hit the transfer portal, and you know what I'm saying, or opting out just to sit out because they didn't make it to the big championship.
and then and to protect their draft stock and all that other stuff.
Yeah,
Like
and I
you
feel like
played the whole year without caring about that stuff, bro. Why are you choosing the bowl game to decide to make the decision now? Like, that don't make no sense.
just like it was the old college coach from that was on the Last Chance U, that coach, he said, "Shit, I paid you to play do a job. Man, you didn't finish your job. So why do you feel like I should pay you the rest of your money? You didn't complete your job. Your job was from the beginning to the end. You didn't complete that. You opted out of the last game of the year because of y'all didn't make it to the championship. Y'all didn't make it to the playoffs. Do better. Then you can make it.
A lot of selfish guys that don't want to admit that they're selfish, but
That's definitely
it's
selfish. That's definitely selfish.
it's
Just
not
like
nothing.
Cam Ward, he like a lot of people were saying, he sat out the last, you know what I'm saying, after he broke the record.
Second half. Yep, shit out the whole second half.
That's kind of tough. Like
Bogus.
that's a
Flat
big
out.
part of the game. Like you just did phenomenal in the first half, and then after you get your record, you'd be like, all right, I'm cool. You ain't hurt. It ain't nothing wrong with you. You just sat out. And I feel like I said before, people came there to see you play, and you not playing. That's hurtful.
That's a big detriment.
That's a big
big
loss for
detriment.
them. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people aren't always able to go to games. So the games that they're able to go to, and then you don't play or you're not there, that's a killer for them, bro.
Yep. I think changes will come, but we'll see what happens.
I hope so.
All right, now to let Oliver kind of take over the show for a little bit. We're going to speak on some NFL free agency. Oliver, what do you got for me?
I have a lot.
Oh,
as far as top 5 in each position.
Okay.
I'm going to run down top 5 each position, and I want y'all to tell me what you think is going to happen. That's how I'm going to go about this.
All right.
Okay, quarterback, the number 1 free agent is Sam Darnold. Where is he going?
I'm going to debate that, but go ahead. I say he comes to Las Vegas. Not a lot of money has to be paid.
Do you think he does well, or do you think he's kind of thrown in there until they find their guy?
I can't answer that because I don't know what we're going to do as far as the rest of the team. Right. If I had to guess now, I say he comes on a 2-year contract, maybe. And we kind of build around him while we develop a guy behind him. Possibly Shador, possibly Cam, maybe Jackson Dart if we even get near that, or somebody else. So, but I'm going to say Darnold comes to Vegas.
Darnold comes to Vegas. Cookie?
That's tough. I feel like he stays, and I feel like he stays.
Well,
it's not a bad call.
My thing is, he doesn't stay because you have J.J. McCarthy coming back from injury, and I think what the Vikings want to do is make J.J. their guy. And if they can't make J.J. their guy, then I see that's the only reason why you keep Darnold.
But how would you know if he's your guy if you don't keep him? Because if you send him off, then you only still have Daniel Jones, which is not a possibility that Daniel Jones is going to stay with the Vikings just because he went with them at the end of the year.
Right. And I don't know. I think Vegas would be a good fit for him. I think
especially now because we got Pete Carroll and
the
and Chip
Giants.
Kelly. That dumpster fire. I mean,
wouldn't be the first time Sam Darnold's been thrown into a dumpster fire.
It is, but that's such a step backwards.
It really is. Right. But knowing how
unless
John Mara runs his football teams, he likes to go backwards.
Unless they pay him a boatload of money, unless they pay him like
if they give him the
mid-tier quarterback money.
Who is Aaron Rodgers' backup in Green Bay that threw 6 touchdowns? Matt Flynn.
Matt Flynn.
They give him the Matt Flynn
came in and balled out one game and ain't never.
I know you'd have something to say about that.
Hey, that was the most amazing game he ever played in his life, and after that, he never did that ever again in life. And that was terrible.
He got that big contract with Seattle, fucked around.
I'm about to say he lost the job to Russell in Seattle.
Yeah. Lost
and
it to
still
Russ.
Did nothing, and still was butt sauce.
Big time.
Butt sauce.
All right, for running backs, the number 1 free agent according to Pro Football Focus, Aaron Jones is the number 1 free agent running back.
He's staying in Minnesota.
I say he either stays.
I say he stays.
He's staying in Minnesota. I
can't really think of a team that really needs a running back.
There's actually a lot of teams need running backs.
A lot of teams need running backs, but for how well he played in Minnesota this past year, I don't see him leaving.
I don't see him leaving that.
He wanted to go to Minnesota, so he signed there for a reason.
He's the perfect complement to J.J. McCarthy.
Absolutely.
Because if J.J. does actually struggle, then you can always just say, just turn around and get the ball to Aaron, and we're gonna go from there.
I think that was a Sam Darnold.
Hey,
when I'm in trouble, hey, Aaron Jones.
Exactly. Aaron Jones is a good blocker too.
He really get you there. He was so underrated in his pass blocking. So underrated.
I'm kind of salty that Green Bay gave him up, but at the same time, I see it didn't really stop anything for us.
No, because you
got Jordan Love, though.
You got Love and Josh Jacobs.
But that's what I'm saying. It didn't really stop what we had, but I think if we would have had A.J. Dillon, you know what I'm saying? I feel like.
Was Dillon healthy?
Dillon was hurt the whole year.
That's what I thought.
So
it's kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't in that situation.
You know what I mean? So it's like, don't get me wrong, our backups, they definitely showed up. Wilson showed up, you know what I'm saying, when Josh Jacobs came out. But I think we relied on our running game a little bit too much. Way too much.
Well, the thing is, y'all actually pulled off what a lot of teams never do. Y'all released a great player and replace him with a great player at the same position. A lot of teams don't do that, and then you show a downfall of, well, if they would have kept him, he would have been great. The releasing him was okay. The replacement part is where y'all failed at. Green Bay did a great job of the replacement part.
That's usually how it goes in this league, doesn't it? You do that part, but then the replacement part ends up being
that's where you fail at. That's where you fail at. Yep.
That's a running trend every offseason. Every single offseason.
That's every team. I can see that. I can definitely see that.
Y'all already know who.
I got one question, though. I definitely got one question. Do you think Justin Fields or Russ stays with the Steelers, even though
I think Russ leaves.
They signed Skylar Thompson from Miami.
Skylar Thompson.
Go ahead, Cookie. Go ahead. I'll let you go first.
Skylar Thompson can go anywhere he wants. I don't really care about him. I think Fields stays, Russ goes.
Where do you think he goes?
It'd have to be a situation that would fit him ideally.
Would you put him with the Giants?
God, I don't even know.
Would you put him with the Giants?
I wouldn't say the Giants. Maybe the Jets. Maybe the Jets.
Another terrible decision, but go ahead.
I don't know. Maybe Russ could go to the Jets and get rid of Aaron Rodgers until they find a guy.
They already get rid. He don't want.
Rodgers had already gone. He was gone in week 16.
I know, but I'm just saying they don't. That's not officially official until the new season starts in March.
He already said he does not want to come back to.
And the Giants and the Jets even said we have no further pursuit to keep you. We have no reason to keep you. So that's just what it is.
But go ahead, Mike.
So for me, I honestly think Justin Fields is a better free agent choice than Sam Darnold. I think he should be number one.
Definitely.
I think he has the most potential out of everybody. Personally, he wasn't great in Chicago, but he also had like no type of real coaching or help over there.
Right.
Outside of Cole Kmet, and I think he had DJ Moore for like a year. So, but I think Justin should be number one as far as free agent quarterbacks. I think if the Steelers don't keep both of them, because I think that's still a possibility. I think they keep this train rolling with Russ and Justin. I think they keep Justin, and I think you're gonna get pissed off. I think Russ, if we don't sign Darnold, I think we get Russ and him and Pete reunite out here in Las Vegas.
Get out my head. I'm not gonna lie. That's what I thought. I feel like that. I feel like that
I think that's a good possibility too.
If that happens, I feel like the Raiders can be upbeat and do something. But yeah, that's that. I literally just had that in my head. That's crazy.
Yeah, but we can't forget that him and Pete did have beef in Seattle. The whole reason Russ got traded was because Pete thought Russ wasn't a guy anymore. That's why they got rid of him. So we can't forget about that. But I do think that's a possibility of him and Pete reuniting out in Vegas. I do think.
But didn't they win a Super Bowl?
They did. They went to back-to-back Super Bowls.
So how is he not your guy?
Man, look, you don't forget he decided to try to make Russ the hero and not give Beast Mode the ball for 4 straight downs on the 1 yard line or the 2 yard line.
Is that he will live that down until he is
never gonna live that down. But that's gonna be part of the precedent forever, bro.
Marshawn Lynch is the most dynamic.
He's one of the most dynamic backs.
One of the most dynamic.
He's going to be one of the go down as the best back of a history of everything. Just because
there was no stopping beast mode.
Especially in the playoffs. He hit a whole different level in the playoffs. My goodness,
did not matter. But it was just the fact that y'all really chose to throw the ball on the 1 yard line. A slant.
It's supposed to be a screen, and yeah, supposed to be a screen, and it got jumped.
Oh, that was a screen?
That was supposed to be a screen, bro.
Yeah, I remember that being a screen.
It's supposed to be a screen.
I thought that was a slant.
It's supposed to be a screen.
Wow.
I forget who the receivers.
Tunnel screen.
I forget the name of the
tunnel.
I forget who the receivers were, but it was a twin stack. The receiver in front was supposed to go pick up, I believe, the linebacker or the safety, whoever was down close to the line of scrimmage, and the receiver on the outside was supposed to come behind that and catch the screen, like right behind him. But I think it wasn't McCourty. Who was the corner? Malcolm Butler. Jumped it. Malcolm Butler jumped it and picked it off.
That should have ran the ball at the 1 yard line. That's just my opinion.
That's how it was. And the thing is, the play before that, I think they stopped beast mode on like the 3 yard line, but the play before that, he rushed for like 7 yards from the 10. It was the first to go from like the 10 or 11. He rushed for 7 yards. He rushed again and got like, I think, back to the line of scrimmage like negative half a yard or something like that. Mm-hmm. And then they decided to throw the screen. And Malcolm Butler picked his way in the Super Bowl history with that one. So
he definitely
did for that.
Definitely one of the greatest plays in Super Bowl history. The crazy part
is that Malcolm Butler had that interception, then had a few good years, and then no one's heard of him, snurred from him since.
That's Belichick's fault.
That's the NFL.
That's Belichick's fault.
I feel like it definitely was.
We can debate that next week, but that's Belichick's fault. I'm sorry.
For sure.
We can debate that next week. Go ahead, Ali.
All right. Receiver, you already know who the number one free agent wide receiver is.
Go ahead.
Definitely was.
I was gonna say, doesn't that change the franchise tag?
He's trying to keep them, all three of them.
I feel like that's gonna be too rough for y'all though. I feel like that's gonna be tough.
Well, the salary cap jumps like $25 million this year.
You thank Taylor Swift for that.
Nah, I think they just got lucky. We'll come back to that.
Go
I
get
say that
your
for next week.
Swifty ass up out of
I
here.
say
Get
that for next
Swifty
week.
ass.
I say that for next week.
The hell wrong
All right.
with you?
Tight ends.
So hold on before we go. My next question is: with T being locked up with the franchise, who's your next? Who do you think is the next number one receiver free agent?
DeAndre Hopkins. No,
Cookie, I'm gonna let you go before I go.
I'll take that back. Stephon Diggs.
What was the question? I'm sorry.
Since T is locked up with the franchise tag, who do you think the number one receiver is in free agency right now?
Number one.
Because you got here's the list. You got Higgins, Godwin, Mari Cooper, Stephon Diggs, DeAndre Hopkins, Deontay Johnson, Darius Slayton, Keenan Allen, Demarcus Robinson, and then Josh Palmer.
I would say Stephon Diggs.
I'm gonna go with Amari Cooper.
I can see that.
I can see that. I can see that to a certain extent. I definitely can see
I'm gonna go only because
get him a little 1-year deal, see what he does.
I think right now we don't know what Stephon Diggs is gonna be after this injury.
Yeah.
And Chris Godwin has been basically habitually injured for the last couple of years. So right now, from Tampa Bay. Right now, the safest pick, in my opinion, would be Amari Cooper if you want to go free agents. I mean, and then we can't forget that Cooper Kupp is looking for a trade as well. So there's not a reason he's not the number one. He's not technically a free agent.
He's not even in the top
literal
10
sense.
free agents in the league.
That's because they're only looking at actual free agents, not people looking for trades. Mm-hmm. That's why Myles Garrett isn't on there, because I looked at the same list you looked at. Yeah. That's why Myles Garrett isn't on that list, because he's technically looking for a trade. He's not a technical free agent. So we can argue. I'm going to argue for either Cooper Kupp, even though he's looking for a trade, or Amari. If you want to go actual free agents, I'm going to say Amari Cooper. If you want to go every receiver in the league, I'm going to say Cooper Kupp.
I feel like that Cooper Kupp could be Ooh, but who do you think will trade for Cooper?
He'd want to go to I'd say he'd go to someone who's contending right now. Obviously, that would be the best.
I've heard rumors about Washington.
I heard rumors of New England.
Really?
Washington works because of Scary Terry over there, and
him and Terry would be that's a different. Ooh.
I mean, you got McLaurin who could take the top off of defense. We've seen him cook numerous DBs. Mm-hmm. And you can let Cooper Kupp work in the middle of the field like he usually does.
Like he always do. And then take the top off when they think he's coming over.
When they think he's going, yep. Mm-hmm. Just like he hit, remember he hit Antoine Whitfield Jr. with that double move to beat Tampa Bay in the playoffs a couple years ago when they won the Super Bowl.
Yep. Tight ends. We're going to move on to tight ends. This one kind of shocked me as far as tight ends are concerned. It's Juwan Johnson from New Orleans. He's the number one tight end in free agency. Second to Mike Gesicki.
I can see that. And Njoku signed long term. Laporta signed long term. Hawkins signed long term. I mean, all of your major tight ends are signed long term. They have at least one more year left, if not two.
At least 2 more years left on that.
Yeah. But so Johnson might be the best of a bad bunch.
Juwan could resign. I think Mike Gesicki's going to come back.
I do too. I'm going to double down on that.
Yeah, I wouldn't see no reason to get rid of him.
Interior defensive lineman. I'm not going to do the offensive lineman because those are always wishy-washy. Interior D lineman. For edge rushers, we got Khalil Mack, and then at defensive line, it's Milton Williams.
I feel like
Khalil Mack is so hard to call.
Because he's been so up and down. He wants to retire, then he doesn't retire. Now he wants to come back and play, but he doesn't want to play for the Chargers. So he wants to go somewhere where he can win.
He's not going to come back to Vegas. I don't think Cincinnati will pay him. So my two teams are out.
I feel like Khalil probably will stay even though he really doesn't want to, because he's what?
This
is what, eighth, ninth year in the league?
I believe so. Yep.
You know what I mean? And it's like people that are D linemen of his caliber, they get more wear and tear on their bodies.
Well, yeah, just like most offensive linemen do, because they're literally banging heads every single play.
Every play. So I feel like yes, he will get that contract, but it won't be that extension he's looking for. He probably will, depending on the team. But
I think his best fit would be Detroit.
Who?
Oh,
Khalil Mack.
That'd be different.
No,
I think his best fit may be Detroit. But the argument with that the argument there is, do you put him at linebacker, or do you either put him at linebacker
on the edge?
I know. Hold on. Because you still got Aiden Hutchinson there. So do you switch Hutchinson sides and let Khalil Mack say his position, or do you switch Mack to the other side?
What's Mack?
They just got the guy from Green Bay. What is his name? Damn it. What is his name? He got traded in the middle of the year.
I don't need to talk about him either, but I don't need to talk about.
I think it's last name.
Hold on.
Or no.
Give me 2 seconds. Don't worry about it.
1, 2. Is it Zadarius Smith?
Thank you.
Yes. Yep. That's what it is.
So what are you gonna do? You're gonna take him out of end?
That's why I brought out the option of linebacker. Because remember he came out.
I would move him to linebacker. I don't
remember because he came out of Buffalo as a linebacker when he first got drafted by the Raiders. He came out as a linebacker who happened to be a great edge rusher.
I don't see that fit for him, but I feel like, that's tough.
That's very tough.
So where else would he go though? I mean, Cincinnati's not going to pay him. He probably has no inkling to come back to Vegas.
No.
Possibly Kansas City, maybe?
He could go to Tennessee.
Who wants to go to Tennessee, bro?
Different.
Tennessee's in the midst of a rebuild right now. I think they would be a great fit for that defensive line.
Heck.
Do you want to deal with a rebuild though?
That's too much of a rebuild.
Probably not.
Way too much of a rebuild.
I can see that.
What does Tennessee have? Like, who are their star players?
Shit.
Exactly.
Calvin Ridley.
Tyler Boyd.
Okay, he's not about to be there for long. What noise has he made this season?
He actually had a decent year this year.
I mean, a decent year compared to what? Like his other years, he was even his 1 year in Jacksonville, he made some type of noise.
Let's see. What was his stat line this year? Calvin Ridley, 64 catches, 120 targets. He hit 1,000 this year. He had 1,017, 4 touchdowns.
1,000. Quietest thousand I ever heard. I'm not gonna hold you.
Hey, I'm not gonna lie. That was the quietest
thousand I've ever heard.
Yeah.
I know people that, but you gotta think of it. He got 120 targets and only 64 catches.
That's almost a 50% drop. Not
50% drop.
That's almost a 50% catch rate. Like that's like 120 targets. You only hit 64 catches. I understand you get bad throws, so I understand that. But look who your quarterback is, though. Look who your quarterback was. Will Levis. Like
he's a turnover machine.
I understand the whole target to catch thing, but at the same time, like you're not getting 56 bad throws. You're not. Sorry.
No,
not even Will Levis. You're not getting 56 bad throws. You're not.
I mean,
I'm sorry. You're not. No, for the one person, 56 bad throws to one person is not happening. I don't care who the quarterback is.
Right.
I don't care if it's Nathan Peterman, bro. He's not throwing you 56 bad passes. I'm sorry. He's not. He's not. He's not, bro. He's not.
Will Levis. He had 190 completions, 301 attempts, 63.1 completion rating.
See?
2,091 yards, 6.9 average, 13 touchdowns, and 12 picks.
Yeah. That's not going to get it done.
So, I mean, we already knew they're looking for a quarterback. That's why I'm kind of mad they traded away Malik Willis.
Willis dogged in Green Bay. He did really good.
Yeah, he went back.
And I'm glad he got to start against them and put. I wish he would have blew them out more, but he had an amazing game.
I kind of do too.
I mean,
I love
like
players getting revenge on their old teams.
Yeah, I mean, but at the same time, he had a phenomenal game, and I think that was his first start.
It's like what we said in the beginning. We wanted Saquon Barkley to go for 350 against the Giants, but he decided to be petty and say, "Nope, I'm not going to do that."
But I feel like sportsmanship goes a long.
It's a thing. It still does matter.
Yeah,
so we will take that. Sportsmanship is still a thing. No matter how petty we want to be.
Yeah, I mean, no matter how we think about it, you know what I'm saying? Me, Mike, Oliver, we
still got to think about the well-being of your players and everything. So I mean, it was a mutual decision by the Eagles and Saquon to sit. So it wasn't like Saquon just decided to say he wasn't gonna play. They had already brought up the aspect of him sitting before he even said anything. Mm-hmm. So he already knew what it was.
It was just like that was like, yeah, would have been nice if he would have got the record. Yes, but that's a high risk.
You still got to think about the rest of the playoffs. You still got to play. It's not like you got the bye week. You're the number 2 seed, so you're not getting the bye week. You still got to play next week. So it's a smart decision. It's a smart decision when you look at it from a football aspect. It's a smart decision, but as a person as a player who really kind of gets in his feelings about certain things when it comes to football, I feel plenty of football grudges and paid them out. I'll be the first to tell you that. I've paid 100 football grudges out. So me personally, I would have wanted to play. Let me at least play till I get that 100 yards to at least tie the record, if not break it. And then I'll sit down for the rest of the game.
I'm cool with it. If I tie it, I'm cool with it. Because but at the second person in the league that ever done it.
Yeah, but at the same time,
a new team and a new system.
At the same time, you do have to be wary of things like injury because they had already dealt with Jalen being hurt, so they were probably already scary out for that. So it's smart decision.
They did smart. They did smart.
They did. So just to double back on the whole edge rusher thing, Oliver. What I'm gonna say that the number 1 prospect as far as defensive ends is gonna be Myles Garrett.
I think
even though he's not a technical free agent, he is looking for a trade.
He's for a trade. Now, if this was
I do think he's number 1.
A free agent seeking a trade, this would be a different conversation.
Oh, for sure.
Absolutely.
For sure.
But we have to go off what we have right now is the fact that Khalil Mack is a free agent. He's the best edge rusher on the free agency list for 2025. And that's just what it is.
It is.
Now,
no argument for me.
Moving on, I'm gonna do linebackers, corners, and then I'm gonna wrap up at safety. So I'm gonna knock all these into one. Dre Greenlaw is the number 1 free agent linebacker out of San Francisco.
That's huge. That boy ain't moving. I'm sorry. I'm gonna say that right now. Go ahead. He ain't moving.
You forgot about Bobby Wagner.
You think he's number 1?
Why not?
I'm asking the question.
Why would he cook,
bro? I'm gonna let you cook.
Would he not be?
I'm gonna let you cook.
Bobby Wagner had a phenomenal year. Yes. You know what I'm saying? He's getting old. He's getting older. But do you think him going anywhere else hinders him in the rest of his career?
No.
I
honestly think he should stay in Washington, to be for real.
I do too.
I feel like he should. Because he had a phenomenal year with them. So
I honestly think he should stay.
Well, that also goes with Nick Bolton is the number 2 free agent linebacker. I think he should stay in Kansas City. He was their top tackler the last 3 years.
Bobby Wagner this year, 75 solos, 57 assists, 132 total.
That man played football.
2 sacks.
That's crazy.
10 tackles for loss. 4 PBUs, 1 forced fumble, 2 fumble recovery.
That man plays football. I'm not talking about let's get up and go play in the backyard type football. That man will light you up as far as he can see you and play
He
football.
ain't playing foosball.
So, man, listen. So I think the thing with Greenlaw being number 1 and not Bobby is potential, because guys have seen what Dre Greenlaw can do, but we can't forget that he was hurt. I think the first 6 games of the year he was actually hurt.
Yeah,
and he came back in game 7, I believe.
He's not the one that walked out in the middle of the game, is it?
It was his backup that did it.
Yeah,
it was his backup that did it.
And I just seen something on him, the backup that was that walked out, and I didn't even look at that and read that.
He got released. He got released right there.
That's just terrible, man. I don't.
I mean, I get it because he was supposed to go in one play, and then he told his coach, "He's like, I don't want to play today," and he just went back to the locker room and got undressed and left.
That's just trash, man. I don't. You got a lot, like we said before. You got a lot of people that come to see you play, and you just.
It goes back to LeBron leaving the All-Star game.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah, it's bad, but I'm gonna. It's really hard for me to say this, but I'm gonna agree with Greenlaw being the number 1 linebacker free agent. I'm gonna kick Bobby up to 2, a very close to. 4.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, I'm gonna kick Bolton to 3. I'm gonna kick Bolton to 3.
Ernest Jones is number 3.
I'm gonna go Greenlaw, Wagner, Bolton as the top 3 of linebacker. Personally.
Okay. So for corners, I think you're gonna love this subject, Mike. DJ Reed is the top corner.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna kick him down.
So 2. I'm gonna give you my top 7. DJ Reed, Tre'Davious Ward, Russell Douglas, Carlton Davis III, Byron Murphy, Asante Samuel Jr., and Mike Hilton.
I like the list. I don't think Hilton is hard to judge because he's a nickel. I have nothing against. I personally, I love playing nickel position personally as a corner. It's a lot more space to operate.
Oh my god, I love playing.
It's tougher to cover for that very reason, because it is so much more space, and the guys you go against are usually a lot more shifty than fast.
Those slot receivers are different.
And then them slot receivers are usually off the line too, so you really got to be patient and kind of let them,
I played nickel. I played mostly nickel when I went up to Lima in 2016. They had me at nickel, and that was really fun. But
it's hard to play. It's hard to play.
It's really difficult.
It's hell playing nickel corner.
We dominated y'all ass that year too. Damn.
I remember that. But no, you weren't. I didn't play you until the year after. No, actually, I did play you that year. I lined up against you, Cookie.
Probably locked you up too. But playing nickel.
Definitely didn't. I had 5 catches for almost 100 yards and a touchdown.
You didn't have a touchdown on me.
I had a touchdown that game.
But it wasn't on me.
Hey, ain't nobody tell you to move sides. You could have got this work regardless.
That's hilarious.
Ask Baby Shark.
You didn't see a ball come. I didn't see a ball come my way that entire second half, even when you were against me, big bro. So.
You want to know why?
That's funny.
Because I pulled one of the NFL players thing. I'm going to sit out this game.
That's hilarious.
I'm done.
But back to the subject. Hilton is hard to judge because I don't know what he does better than the other 6 on the list.
Tackle.
But he's really, really good in run defense.
He's great. He's a great tackler.
And then the fact that he gets sacks too, TFLs. It's hard to say he's not better than those guys because that extra aspect of his game is added there.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna actually kick Ward up to 1, and keep and I'm gonna keep the rest of the list. I may move Samuel Jr. up to 5.
Yeah,
but I think Ward should be number 1. Ward. Oh my God, I can't talk enough about Javarius Ward. That guy's solid.
He's a dog.
Oh, good Lord. Hey, Javarius Ward is so good, man.
And then, so as far as that, Tre'Davious Ward stays in San Francisco. I think they have
I
enough
don't know
to give him
now
a year deal, and I
because
don't know
of that.
how they would let him walk.
Well, you got to think. The Chiefs let Snead walk last year and
He
wrote with
sucks.
McDuffie.
And
And
McDuffie's not
had
any
But
better.
McDuffie was solid though. McDuffie was good.
He
McDuffie
was
was
good,
really
but
good. Don't let the Super Bowl fool you, bro. McDuffie's nice.
Yeah.
McDuffie is up there. McDuffie is up there. Playing against AJ Brown, Devontae Smith will be hell for anybody. Let's not
I'm not
discredit
going to discredit
anybody.
that. That's a good point.
Let's not discredit anybody. But McDuffie's a dog. There's a reason that the Chiefs were okay with letting Snead go and staying with McDuffie. So
Yeah.
but I'm gonna say Ward. But the problem is Ward had the whole situation with his baby in San Fran, and he said he can't not think about that while being in San Fran. So he might leave just off of his own mental peace.
Absolutely.
So I don't think he stays in San Fran. I really don't. And if he does, I'll be shocked. I'm not gonna hold you. After everything he's done said about that situation and how he's basically having PTSD every time he leaves a house in San Fran, I would be shocked if he stayed in San Fran. I'm sorry.
I mean, that's a good point. And
I
now
would be
we're going to
absolutely
wrap
shocked.
up free agency at safety. My top 5 safeties. Actually, I'm going to go through the whole list because I think they're all pretty decent safeties. Javon Holland is number 1. Buda Baker is number 2.
I was picking up one.
Talanoa Hufanga is number 3.
Oh, he's good. He's good too.
Cameron Bynum is number 4.
Yep.
Andre Cisco, Jacksonville is number 5. Harrison Smith is 6.
That's only because he's older. But
Trayvon Mohrig is 7. Justin Reed is 8. Justin Simmons is 9.
Another
And
good
Jeremy Chin is 10.
Oh, you got some haters.
You have a deep free agency
That's
class.
a deep free agency draft for the safeties. That's deep.
That's a deep safety class in free agency.
Ooh. Lord. Jesus Christ.
I'd say put Baker at 1.
Yeah, I was about to say I was gonna put Baker at 1.
And I'd say maybe Cameron Bynum at 2.
Man, Harrison Smith should be higher.
At least top 5.
I don't see how, man. I understand he's older. I get that, but I don't see how he's not higher on the list.
Dude, he's been in the league forever. He's been a dog since
he's been a dog every year.
He's always had
rookie year to now.
He's always had a good over on his tackles. His turnover differential is top tier.
Always solid.
Plays the run, plays the pass. He's really good on the back end for any
Another one is Justin Simmons. I don't see how he's that low.
I don't see how even
Justin Reed's always been solid too. And it's safety. This safety class might change some divisions, bro.
Safety class is going to be hard to pick over any of the others.
Yeah, this safety class might change division rankings, bro. Oh my goodness.
I mean, just wait until Jesse Bates gets back on the free agent market, or
he's not gonna touch it. I'm sorry. He ain't go to Atlanta. Go hold on to him like a baby mama, bro. It's over.
Oh boy.
Atlanta go hold on to him forever, as long as they can. I'm sorry. Cincinnati shouldn't never let him go.
Cincinnati should have just went and paid him. Sorry.
Y'all dumb. Y'all don't know how to sit there and pay people like y'all supposed to.
Bro, look at who our owner is, man.
We don't have a GM.
Y'all do.
We don't. Cincinnati does not have a general manager. It does not have a GM. We have Mike Brown and the coaches. That's it.
Tobin, but what do you really say about him?
Player personnel.
Yeah, and then we only have 4 scouts.
And everybody in the league has like 20 to 30.
At the least 20. At the least. So that the whole scouting department alone should show you how cheap Mike Brown really is. I know we're beating a dead horse here because I know we're beating a dead horse because everybody says it, but it really gets exemplified when you look at our scouting department on how cheap Mike Brown and the Bengals organization as a whole is.
Mm-hmm.
Don't bro. Don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
Don't do that.
I'm doing it.
Don't do that.
Just care.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna agree with you.
I know you are. It's just
He's a cheapskate,
I
and it's
know
half the reason
it's
why we can't ever do well in free agency or the trade deadline
I know it's
Or the
just so
draft.
frustrating to
or the
talk about.
draft. Joe
It's just
Burrow,
so
Jamar
frustrating
Chase,
to
and
talk
T.
about.
Higgins, and whoever else we've drafted defensively have probably been the best parts about this team the last few years. Most is
Yeah,
Joe Burrow and Jamar
and
Chase.
every year, people we draft go somewhere else and be successful. Jesse Bates, Leon Hall was a dog in Houston, and man,
Don't
I
mix
don't know.
Oh, Chidobe Awuzie.
Yeah,
don't
Uzier, another dog.
Fucking DJ Reader went to Chicago.
Muhammad
Did
Muhammad
good.
Sanu going to Atlanta and absolutely he was a great number two. He was an amazing number two to Julio. Oh my
AJ
goodness.
oh, for sure.
Green. After no, I wouldn't say AJ Green.
He kind of went middle of the pack after he left us.
Yeah.
I'd say,
But
yeah.
yeah,
As far as
this
free
safety
agency
class.
concerned, it's for me. Free agency is a field above the rest, and whatever happens is going to happen.
Oh yeah, I don't think it's a contest.
A lot of potentials everywhere for everybody in free agency.
Yeah,
And
quarterbacks a dead market.
And come March when the season starts, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, quarterbacks. I won't say quarterbacks dead, but quarterbacks a dead
Quarterbacks have
market.
been dead for a minute.
Yeah, but nobody ever really lets quarterbacks get to free agency though.
No.
Like most of the best quarterbacks are signed forever and then they retire,
Yeah.
unless they get traded. But quarterbacks like that, like Deshaun Watson traded, Russ traded, Peyton Manning, he hit free agency, but he really was only looking at a good 4 or 5 teams. Aaron Rodgers, and the Aaron Rodgers magic was gone by the time he left Green Bay.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, Joe Burrow would end up being traded. Mahomes, if Mahomes, Burrow, Jackson, Hurts, Allen, any of those top guys, if they ever leave, it's because they got traded. They'll never hit free agents.
I feel like in one of our episodes coming up, we should redo one of the drafts with top players in those said drafts and just like reconfigure it. That would be fun.
Of course.
I think that would be pretty fun. Just to see like, okay.
That'd be a different.
And then we can have a different conversation of how this team would outlook in the future with this person.
In the future, if they didn't have these guys, right?
Right.
We can definitely do that, and that'll be a good little segment.
So wrapping up free agency, the next thing after free agency starts is the NFL draft. We're gonna go ahead and make a prediction on who the number one pick is gonna be. We have some of the notables. We have Cam Ward. We have Shador Sanders. Jackson Dart has been getting a lot of press lately, and we also have Heisman winner Travis Hunter. Number one pick goes to the Tennessee Titans.
Okay.
I feel like Tennessee will take. Sad to say, but I feel like they're gonna take Cam Ward or Jackson Dart. I feel like Jackson Dart has improved a lot in the Senior Bowl, and
Jackson Dart was the best.
He was the best athlete coming out, regardless, behind Cam Ward and Shador Sanders. I don't think Jalen Milroe. He will go first round.
Milrose goes second round.
You think somebody's gonna reach for Milroe?
You said what?
You think somebody's gonna reach for Jalen Milroe?
Probably one of the shittier franchises, probably, but
a desperate team, yes.
Big reach. If you're desperate, yes, but I don't think he's really a big reach. Second round, maybe. But I think if you're looking for a desperation pick at quarterback and you want someone who can probably be NFL ready, I think Will Howard's a good choice. He can go in the third or fourth round. I think Will Howard is a great choice.
Here Rick go.
Chill out, bro.
Here Rick go.
That is hilarious.
Not here Rick go. I'm being dead serious. The way I watched Will Howard play this year, I think he could be successful any team he goes to, and even if he's a backup for a few years, I think he'd be really good.
I won't say any team just because there are too many factors to say that anybody will be successful anywhere.
Right.
So I won't say he won't be successful. I do think he can be successful if he goes in. Obviously, if he goes in the right place. I mean, but you can say that about anybody. But I do think Will Howard can be at the least a serviceable quarterback. I think serviceable is his floor. I think great can be his. I think don't want to say above average because I think average
I don't think he's
isn't
like
his feeling.
no.
But I
I
can't.
think he's just
But
a
saying
very go with the flow, accurate quarterback.
yeah,
He barely turns the ball over. He knows where to make the throws when you need him. He's mobile with his feet. And it's just I feel like he'd be good. He'd be good with one of these teams who need a quarterback, not
He was very
necessarily one who's
underrated this
looking.
year. He was definitely downplayed this year. I give you that.
Yeah,
But
he's been downplayed since he transferred to Ohio State.
I mean, isn't that how a lot of players are when they transfer?
I think
Yeah.
Tennessee, man, they need help. They need a player. They need a special generation player like Travis Hunter. They need a quarterback
I feel like they
like
won't
a
get
Cam
Travis.
Ward, like a Cam Ward, like a Shadur Sanders. They need something. I do think they take Travis Hunter with the first round.
I don't see that. I feel like me and
because with all the hype around Travis Hunter, they would take him just because of that. But then my second pick would be my other Tennessee pick would be Cam Ward because they need a quarterback.
So,
all right. So I'm going to make my pick, and then I'm going to ask a question because these go hand in hand. So there's two possibilities here. I'm going to say Shador is going to be the pick for Tennessee.
I can see
if they don't pick Shador, they're going to trade out and stockpile for later on. I think it's going to go one of those two ways.
Okay, so here's my question. If they don't pick Shador and trade out, who gets the pick?
Man, that third option, oh my God. If neither one of those scenarios happen, I say they go with Cam Ward, man. But Cam Ward didn't have so much better of a season than Shador, though. I know the numbers will say differently, and the bowl game results will say differently. But I feel like if Shador had the team that Cam had, I think he would have been more successful. Even though that team didn't have Travis Hunter and Jimmy Horn Jr., who were two great receivers in their own right. Like Jimmy, nobody talks about Jimmy Horn Jr. or nobody talks about Jimmy Horn. Nobody does. And the guy was great. He was great in Colorado, but nobody talks about it because of Travis and because of Shador, and partially because of Shiloh. But Jimmy Horn's going to go somewhere and make somebody's quarterback a ton of money.
Oh, for sure.
I'm so serious about it, and he's going to go second and third round. And that's going to be crazy because he's going to have the same trajectory that Marcus Colston had, late pick, who's going to absolutely make somebody a ton of money. He's going to be great. Jimmy Horn is going to be a dog somewhere.
And I'm saying it now. And a lot of people have said that Jimmy Horn in this combine and all that he's been doing this last couple of weeks.
Absolutely dogging.
He's been phenomenal.
He's been absolutely dogging.
Doubt it that he's not going to get drafted, bro. And I feel like if he does, the best fit for him, man.
It would be, would be crazy? What if he go to what if LA, what if the Rams keep Matt Stafford and they pick up Horn and pair him with Puka, bro? That would be crazy.
But who would you have on the outside now? Because if you take Coop out,
I mean, you still got Van Jefferson. You still got, no, you don't have Van Jefferson anymore, do they?
I don't believe they do.
They don't have an outside
Jefferson,
threat.
I think he
I
went
don't
to.
think they have an outside threat. Maybe Allen. I think Allen Robinson was their guy.
I believe he's still there, so you can
But
still have Allen
he
Robinson.
wasn't what you would think he would be as an outside receiver.
But he didn't get targets either, though.
No,
Like with
didn't.
Puka and Cooper being there, Robinson didn't get the targets that he should have gotten. That he was getting out of
was out for what?
because
Any game?
But still, the key point of the offense from the moment he showed that he can be a real ball player has been Puka. Even with Cooper being there, the focal point has been Puka Nacua.
That's true.
Which is shocking, not because of Puka, but when he first came to LA, Allen Robinson was secretly a top 10 receiver. So
he was
him coming to LA
in Jacksonville.
Exactly.
He got let go.
Him coming to LA he was supposed to be averaging 1,500 yards, even with Cooper being there. So
but with how good Cooper and Puka are, that went down significantly.
That went down the drain. And Puka was an unexpected find. They were not expecting Puka Nacua to be this. That's why they got Robinson, because of how good he was.
Yeah.
So but yeah, I'm gonna go Shiloh. My top two choices are Shiloh or they trade out.
Shiloh.
Or my bad. Shador, my bad. Shador, my fault. Shador, my bad.
Oh, we were about
Shador, or they're gonna trade out, and if they don't, if for some reason they don't do either one of those, they're gonna go with Cam Ward. But I'm gonna argue that Shador should go before Cam, because Cam was successful with a better team, but Shiloh was successful with a horrendous offensive line.
Don't get me wrong. They did
Shador was
step up.
They did. I'm not arguing that.
But if Cam Ward and Shador switch spots, I feel like Shador has a better season.
Of course, Cam Ward did. Yeah, I do too.
Yes.
And then you can't forget the whole thing with him sitting out the second half of that bowl game. Like somebody's gonna hold that against him. I'm sorry, they just are. The NFL
during
is
the
like
combine,
that.
During the combine,
somebody's gonna hold that against him.
That's going to be talked about. Why did
that's probably going to be the first question somebody asks.
Why did you sit out the second half? Because that's a big factor.
That's a huge factor, bro.
Huge. You just sat out the biggest game of the year for y'all.
Y'all
didn't make it. No, y'all didn't make it to the college football.
The CRP. Yep.
But at the same time, you have the opportunity to bring a championship back to your school. Why would you not take
some type of trophy?
I feel like Miami really kind of hasn't been that championship squad since 2003.
Mm-hmm.
Since Ohio State beat them for the Natty.
Oh my God!
They haven't been to a championship, more or less won one since 2001.
Yeah.
And Ohio State would have won back-to-back if the best team ever went and beat them. Sorry, Mike.
But no, that's correct. But at that point, the SEC kind of was on the rise at that point too. So
yeah, SC was coming up because I think 2003 is when Reggie Bush got there, but he didn't break out until 2005.
Mm-hmm. And then once USC
when they lost to Texas.
Yeah, and then when
Texas,
here you go.
Sorry, you got bullshit in your throat? I'm sorry.
I still didn't see how Vince Young didn't win the Heisman that year. Now. I understand it was Reggie Bush, but I don't know. I kind of feel like Vince Young got snubbed that year for the Heisman.
So he did. Absolutely.
He definitely did. Listen.
No. I'm only saying that because of how he performed.
Had a phenomenal year
because of how great, but Reggie Bush had a phenomenal year. Reggie Bush's year was crazy, and then you got to add in the fact that he's a running back.
Well, the stuff he did was definitely different.
It was crazy as a return man, as a receiver, as a running back,
and that brought out a lot of stuff for the upcoming running backs after him.
Yeah, exactly.
So what he did that 1-2 years he was there. He changed a lot.
He changed a lot.
He
And
changed
then
a lot
and then
for a
once
lot
and
of
then
running
another question outside of him, and I think Adrian Peterson won the Heisman one year. What other running back has won a Heisman?
Derrick Henry.
I was gonna
Derrick
say
Henry won one.
Derrick Henry won. Mark Ingram won one.
Oh, no, man.
Big trust. Big whoop.
Big
Big
trust.
trust.
Yep, big trust. Big trust.
The big
Big
whoop.
trust. Big trust.
Other than that, Genty could have won it this year, but they favored Hunter. Genty could have won the Heisman this year. He would have been another running back.
That's a hard argument. That's a tough argument for both sides, honestly. There's no clear cut in that argument between Genty and Hunter. There's no clear cut.
Because Hunter played both sides. That's the only reason. It's because Hunter played both sides.
But at the same time.
But Genty was the whole reason Boise State was successful at all.
At all.
Period. But do you listen? Name 5 running backs that are getting the amount of touches that he's getting. The man had over 400 something touches, 400 something carries, and barely reaching over 2,000, over 2,500 rushing yards.
Yeah, but that was my argument about Saquon and his whole 2000. It's hard for a running back to reach 2,000 yards without getting 375, 400 carries.
I mean, shoot, Quinshon Judkins and Travion Henderson this year both run for 1,000.
But again, that's college.
That's college.
NFL.
In the NFL, we haven't seen anything like that.
He gonna come to the NFL. He are gonna be beat up.
He's not gonna have that success in the NFL his first couple of years. To be honest, with you.
His third year, he might
feel
be.
Like he won't.
He might break out in his third year once he's
year 3, year 2 or 3.
And then you got to add in the fact that he may be sharing carries with somebody too. There's no real. Everybody's doing running back by committee outside of Green Bay. Green Bay doesn't do it.
Cincinnati doesn't do it.
Cincinnati, they were doing it for the longest time though.
Yeah, but then they stopped doing it.
They were stopped because Zach got injured and Herbert. I won't say he didn't live up to it, but Herbert just came in too late. And then
I feel like if we keep Herbert and Chase Brown and they share carries, we might have a good backfield.
Yeah, we will. Mixon don't really share carries down in Houston. Saquon, as well known as Gainwell is in Philly, he doesn't really get the amount of touches that you would think because of Saquon being there.
Yeah,
I mean, but would you?
And then Chubb was another one that doesn't really share the backfield like that. Even though they have Ford. Even though they got Ford up there in Cleveland.
Yeah, Henry.
Chubb don't really. Yeah, Henry don't really share carries like that.
I mean, he does. Hill gets his touches. He gets what he gets.
He does.
He gets barely any touches over what Henry gets. Unless it's a third down receiving situation. Throw him in a third down. He's a good receiving back.
At the end of the year, Derrick Henry, big ass, would be sitting on the sideline after first 2 carries and then get back in later, third, fourth drive. It's been games with Derrick Henry. People, and I know for sure because I bet on it. You know what I'm saying? The guy.
That's hilarious. So now this personal now, huh?
Yeah.
Hey, listen, I have a first quarter bet in on it. You know what I'm saying? They get at least 10 yards in the first quarter, and dog, I have at least 5, 6, and then don't touch the first quarter again until 30 seconds left, and the other team got the ball.
Well, when Christian McCaffrey was healthy, they didn't really share carries with Christian McCaffrey.
No, he didn't. C-Mac does not share carries.
No.
Hell, C-Mac take receptions from receivers, so he knows he share carries.
Yeah, for real.
He knows he share carries. So,
I think with Jordan Mason, I think with him having the year that he did this year, I think now they see okay, now that CMC is, you know what I'm saying, he got out. I think, but that was a downfall for him because with him getting injured, with both of them being out for the season,
right, they both got hurt.
That kind of hurt them a lot because not only did you have a phenomenal year with CMC being out, now you have to resort to your third back. Then your third back was somewhat damaged. Then you got to go to the fourth back. Your fourth back is questionable. Now you got to resort to Deebo Samuels, who barely gotten any touches all year.
Debo was horrendous this season too.
Debo was
he was.
apparently Debo.
Anyway, if anybody
bad,
follows the clip,
And I
it was him.
forgot he's one of the ones that won out of the San Fran this year.
Well, Debo,
of course he won out now because he's terrible.
I tell you why he got terrible
now.
this year. Is because
I wouldn't say he's terrible.
Debo wasn't the same player he was
this year.
Because he put on 20 pounds of extra weight and he wasn't. They say he wasn't as shifty.
Well, how does that affect your hand, bro?
That's just what the media says, and that's what I read. I don't believe that for a damn second. But he just was terrible.
You got my starting running back out for the damn near half of the year.
Give Debo his touches.
Put on some beef because
Debo was getting touches. He was dropping the ball.
But you don't give it to him like he used to. You give Debo the ball on run plays. You give Debo the ball with any type of snap of the ball. Yeah, y'all didn't give him what y'all gave him the year before y'all went to the play and when y'all went to the Super Bowl. Y'all didn't give him this.
Though, man. The guy, he just performed terribly this year. I don't know what his problem was.
He definitely did.
Because everyone said he gained a bunch of weight. I've gained weight. I've never had weight gain affect my hands.
You don't ever gain weight.
I'm about to say because he demanded more touches. In that next game, Dog dropped 3-4 catches.
Exactly, bro. It was the same thing with Pickens in Pittsburgh. Pickens had 6 targets.
Dude, Pickens just wants to fight everybody. He wants to be a full-blown fighter.
That last game against the Bengals, he had 6 targets, 4 drops, and 1 catch, and 1 bad throw. And the one catch he had was a screen.
And did he get any? I don't even think he got any yards on that.
Nope.
No. He might have lost a yard, actually.
So we have what? 1 catch for -2 yards, no tutties?
1 or 2 yards, no tutties, and 3 drops.
And
3 bad drops. They weren't drops of it was a tough throw, it was a tough catch. They were just like in the bread basket drops. Like they hit his hands and just kept going. Like
he's more concerned about fighting motherfuckers than catching footballs.
Dude, don't get me wrong. Russ did overthrow a couple passes.
No. That went through the webbing, bro. I'm sorry. Those went through the webbing.
I'm right here. See, if I'm right here with my hands, ball's coming right here, and I'm just. What do you do about that?
Like, bro,
over the top, bread basket, bam, right through your fucking forearm.
Right through his arms, bro. All those drops were terrible drops.
Hey, bro,
some of them I feel like were purposeful.
I know you are, and we all have the experience as players of stuff like that. But as players, when we see stuff like that, you can't not call it out or give it an excuse. You can't. I'm sorry.
I'm a receiver, damn it. I'm gonna call it out. I'm gonna say what I want to say. Forget a DB,
and that's fine.
Hey, what's the #1 rule as receivers over the years that we learned? If it hits your hands,
you gotta catch it. And then Randy Moss himself said, "I was always told to not let the ball hit the ground. I don't care if it's a body catch, a hands catch. If that ball come in my vicinity, it ain't supposed to touch the ground." So that the one catch he had, the one drop he had, the slant. You literally see that go through the webbing of his thumbs. Like, you can't excuse that.
I feel like Pickens dropped some of those passes on purpose just because he's an asshole.
Yeah, he was pissed off. But he brought it on, whether it's intentional or not, he brought it on himself.
Absolutely.
With a lot of people going into a game, if you're frustrated, bro, your head is not really in the game, bro. You're too heated to be in that type of.
That sound like his problem.
That's a personal problem.
That sound like his problem.
That's a fucking personal problem. You can't blame that on anybody else but him. He's the one dropping the fucking balls. That's a fucking personal problem.
Man, y'all sound like fat ogres. Get y'all.
Hey, look, I sound like that, bro. But I'm not gonna give him the excuse of dealing with some personal or the quarterback. Those drops were all on him. I'm sorry.
Nah, they definitely was on him this year. I don't know.
Okay, so
I don't know where his head is here.
I don't want to piss you off, Cookie, but Des Bryant caught the ball.
Guess what? Go ask any Cowboy fan to come fight me about it.
That's hilarious.
It's a drop. Just like I said, go ask Calvin Johnson.
That's hilarious.
That's crazy.
2 hands on the ball at all times, Massa. Go catch the ball
Massa?
Crazy.
Go catch the ball completely in the right way. Sucker.
We gonna wrap this up with a question. So I came to ask you guys a question. We'll let Oliver go first. He probably has the easiest answer personally. What made you guys a fan of your teams? We know Oliver, just to add context, Oliver is a Bengals fan. Cookie is a Packers fan, and I am a Bengals and Raiders fan. So Oliver, go ahead first.
I grew up here. Born and raised in Cincinnati. I've seen nothing but the Bengals my entire life. I didn't become a full fan until about 07, 08 when I first found football. But I've just something about the Bengals, just the fan base, the culture of the city kind of just drew me in, and I've been a Bengals fan ever since. And just like me, I've been an Ohio State fan since 2003 because the culture at Ohio State is unmatched. I don't give a shit if you like Michigan. Fuck you.
Go Blue. Cookie,
National
go ahead, baby.
bitch.
We won it last year. Undefeated.
Honestly, man, I've been
You
a
cheated.
Packers fan
You
since
fucking cheated.
I've been a Packers fan since I would say since I was a peewee, man. Like me and my uncle, I hung out with him a lot when I was a young kid. I was around him like he was like my second dad type shit, you know what I mean? And my dad is a Steelers fan. You know? Yeah, I mean, so that's crazy.
That's crazy.
I don't like no Ohio team. Like I'm from Ohio, born and raised, you know what I'm saying?
Born and raised, yeah.
Been in the 9-3
Ohio teams.
You feel me?
That's
For
crazy.
30 years, bro. And I don't have no Ohio team besides the Cincinnati Reds, and I barely watch baseball. You know what I'm saying? So I've been a Denver Nuggets fan, and
You've been a
Green Bay
Texas Horns down fan.
I'm a Texas fan. I have no Ohio team. Since I was a peewee, I've had all other states' teams since day one. So I just been a fan ever since, you know what I'm saying? Since Brett Favre, you know what I'm saying? Hey, listen here. I'm about to talk about you and them little funky ass glasses you got on. You horns down one more time, motherfucker. All right. But nah, man, I just been a fan ever since, you know, Pee-wee, when I was growing up watching my dad and my uncle and them play, and the number 4 stuck with me, you know what I'm saying, for a long time. So Brett Favre was definitely my motivation growing up.
Hell yeah.
It's a solid. For me, born and raised Cincinnati, so Bengals fan automatic, just like a Bearcats fan automatic. I always make a joke. I was born in 1989. I know.
Damn.
What
Old ass.
But I always make the joke that I've been a Bengals fan since 1988, and I was born in 1989, so I've been a Bengals fan since before the womb. As far as the Raiders,
when you were in your daddy's nuts.
Man, listen. So as far as the Raiders, being a Raiders fan, that's kind of my dad's fault. My dad was in the Navy for a good 5 years. He actually was stationed out of California for a long time. He kind of had me into the Raiders culture, and when he got out, he brought that culture back home to me, and I just kind of gravitated towards it. One of my favorite players ever is Charles Woodson. That's who really got me into being a Raiders fan. And
he would.
Yep. I lived through the heartbreak of that Super Bowl against Tampa Bay. Let me not get myself PTSD talking about that. But yeah, I survived. I survived
the Super Bowl that we lost by 3.
Oh my God! I survived the whole Jamarcus Russell fiasco. The whole Henry Ruggs thing.
Trashest trade.
That was the absolute worst draft
pick
ever, bro.
Dumbest shit, dude.
Hey,
that might be the worst draft pick in history, bro.
And listen, I remember when they gave him a tape during the draft and told him to go watch it.
The tape,
and dog had nothing on the tape, and they came back and lied. He came back and lied to the coach.
I know the story. Blank tapes, and he said he watched blitz packages. I know the story. So
like that's the most disrespectful thing you can possibly
ever do. Yeah.
Like,
yeah. But Yep.
I would
know.
at least pop the tape in just to see, like, oh, y'all try to bamboozle me. You know
Right.
like,
you would think, right?
He didn't
You
even
would
pop
think.
the tape in. He just let the tape sit on his kitchen table eating chicken wings.
He probably never took the tape out of his book bag, bro. Like, let's be honest.
or he probably never took it home.
But yeah, I lived through that whole fiasco. I lived through the Bengals Super Bowl loss with the Rams.
That was tough.
I've survived the tough years. I've survived, man. I've survived being a Raiders and a Bengals fan for a long time, but nothing's ever going to change me being a fan of theirs. So you can parade the Steelers in front of me and the Eagles and the Chiefs. I'm never going to not be a Bengals and Raiders fan. So you can tell me
you in the AFC both times. And
I am.
You lose to
the same team.
Damn,
I know.
You lost to the Chiefs twice? No, 4 times.
I've lost to the Chiefs 3 times this year. It's terrible.
You lost to the Chiefs 3
times.
It's
torture.
How many times did the Bengals play the Raiders this year?
It's torture.
We're undefeated against the Raiders since Joe Burrow's been here.
Mm-hmm. Yep, we beat us in the playoffs.
And that's what?
That was we beat on the regular season the year we went to the playoffs.
He's been in the league.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
We beat you twice in the same year.
Yep. Yep. But I've survived. I've lived through it all. But
man, I hate when I don't understand how you can root for decent NFL teams, but you got to root for a shitty college football program. I don't get it.
Yeah, just like Ohio State, man.
Yeah, just like Texas.
Hey, bro. Hey, listen here.
Hey, watch your fucking mouth. You watch your mouth.
You want me to throw you a donut, you fat fuck? You know,
it's okay. Right? I'm full from today. I'm going to cut the dreads off.
You want glazed stuff.
Goodness.
Police officer.
With that being said, we're going to wrap up for today. Don't forget, we do have all social medias. We have Twitter. We have Snapchat. We have Instagram. We have Facebook. We also have an OnlyFans where we do the show.
Whoa.
Hold on. I'm getting the call. Hold on. I'm getting the call. Hold on.
Baby. Big
I'm getting the call. Hold on. Let me answer the phone. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. My wife said no to the OnlyFans, so we do not have an OnlyFans, guys. But we do have everything else. We do have all other social media. Please follow us. Please like and subscribe. We will see you guys next week. We appreciate all the love, everything else. Thank you, Oliver. Thank you, Rashawn, for being on today.
Yep.
Y'all have a great night.
Man, y'all have a great night, man.
Man, y'all have fun. Hey, as we say over here, you may not go 4-0. But you can always go 3-1. Thank y'all. Love y'all. Have a good night.
Peace.
Peace.